Alrighty. What is my robot doing here? Get out of here. Oh, you're just a manifestation of my imagination, are you? Yes, apparently this is a manifestation of my imagination. Well, give me a moment to get him out of here. Oh, I gotta take the lens cap off. I forgot to point my camera in the correct direction. I sure hope it's pointing in the right direction. Otherwise, oh, it is still Christmas lights up. Hi there, how you doing today? I'm gonna go turn off these holiday celebration lights for real quick. There we go. And that's interesting. Let's get the robot back up for a second. Apparently, I gotta adjust my chroma key. Let's see, that should be better. That's a better. Oh, there's a little too much headroom over there, huh? Ooh. That's a little better. I don't know what this thing is. Seriously. Oh, that's my desk. Okay, well, I guess we can point the camera up a little bit more. There we go. Wait. Okay, that's part of my desk. Oh, that's part of my desk too. I took the green tape off my desk over there. Anyway, we're going to get this show started in a moment. We'll let people tune in via the chat. And then we will proceed with tonight's movie review. Letters from Iwo Jima. This is going to be a real treat, I promise you. Unless you're not into that sort of thing. I'm presently looking for the YouTube chat window. Apparently I had a lot. Oh, I got a lot of browser tabs open over here. Oh, wait, I need to keep that open. I did do a little movie research to the effect of kind of just, determining historical fact. Oh, I did look up Uranus the Stallion. So, yeah, real quick about the planet Uranus. I believe the best pronunciation is stated by Sailor Uranus from, the Sailor Century. It's Uranus. Because it's like, it doesn't really leave room for the joke about saying Uranus. And it still sounds proper. Like, because like, anytime you watch like a show about space and they say Uranus, it's like, they're just trying to avoid saying Uranus, But when someone says Uranus, you don't even think about it, especially when a Japanese person says Uranus. It's like, oh, okay, that's just how they say it. But no, I think it works better. I really do. I think it's less distracting because I'm sorry, every time someone says Uranus, that is freaking distracting. Why am I talking about Uranus? I mean Uranus. Well, because in this movie, Letters from Iwo Jima, one of the captains or whatever, see, clearly I did my research, had a stallion named Uranus, who I think was in the Olympics or in some major race. I mean, look, we got a picture of a Japanese guy here. Let's see, we'll get his name right now. He was the son of Tokajiro Nishi. Who's he? Baron? It's not a Japanese name. Okay, that's all right. It's a cool name. But there's Baron Nishi right over there with his prized stallion, Uranus. And quite a fine steed over there, isn't he? And it is a he, right? Because it's a stallion. And in the movie, he's featured. I don't know if he's really, in battle or if this is just some, like, movie crap. But there's the horsey. Oh, I should probably close. Okay, let's see. We'll close this browser tab. Close that browser tab. Keep that browser tab. Oh my God. Slimnim. Is Slimnim here? Wait, let me get the chat up. Slimnim. If you're not here, it's okay because I will post a community post later to point out how freaking depressed you made me. What the F? No, okay, it's not really what the F. But Slimnim, I'm talking about Slimnim about my plans for tonight. And am I on camera, by the way? Let me make sure I'm on camera. Sorry for the infinite video loop. I just want to make sure I can see it, and I really don't want to move it to my... Okay, good. So, anyway, Let me just do one thing real quick. I apologize. There we go. Look, Logan's got a stream. Look, Logan's is a female. That's funny. that's Logan, by the way. Logan Dania Productions, LDP. And he's a lady today. But anyway, that's funny. Okay, so where the hell did I put the little projector window? Okay, good. Okay, we'll get this. We'll get rid of that. Yo, this fucking movie. Great movie. Super depressing. I mean, it makes you think about life. But my God, what the hell, Slim Nim? He's lucky he's not here. Kurumi! I was thinking about Stalingrad. I actually gotta watch I gotta watch the movie Death of Stalin. I don't know if it's a comedy, but boy does it come off as a comedy. I mean, Steve Buscemi plays Khrushchev in Death of Stalin. I was watching some clips on YouTube and like some of the absurd shit that's going on. It is like some Three Stooges type crap right over there. Let me tell you, like if you haven't seen Death of Stalin, Kurumi, I think you might like it. How you doing there? How you doing, James? That's not too long of a handle. If anything, it's not long enough. Oh, shit. Challenge accepted, right, Kurumi, huh? Oh, crap. I didn't turn on the chat thing. I guess I'll turn on the chat plugin because, you know, it's nice to highlight people's chats. Recognize people, right? You guys like recognition. But jokes aside, it's just a respectful thing to do. So I'll hook it up right now. Hang on. There we go. Okay, and then I gotta resize the window, so now I can't look at female LDP because it'll fill up my screen. So let's say bye-bye to female LDP. Man, I would say he's cute, but to be honest, his legs aren't quite my style. He's a dude. Not quite my style. But his face is cute, I guess. And his hair is lovely. And his glasses are adorable. But El's got a cuter face. I mean, look at El's face. She's like doing a little wink right over there. Looks like a little wink. Anyway, let me just resize if that. I'm gonna resize the window to fill up my screen, but not quite maximize it. Oops. There we go. Yeah, Slim, you're effing right. That movie slayed me. Okay, good. I clicked on Slim Nim's chat so I can make sure I got the chat on. I apologize for the extremely late starting time tonight. I decided instead of scheduling it and rushing to the TV computer, I told you. Yeah, you did tell me. And I had to see it. And it was the first movie that was available to me. You know, it was like readily available. Is it on Crunchyroll? Well, either way, it was readily available to me. So I watched it, you know, as soon as your stream was wrapping up. And my God, like, I knew where this was going. Like, what the fuck did the doctor do? What, Slimnin, what good is the fucking doctor? Like, he's checking the, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but, like, he's checking, like, what, did he just, like, say, okay, I checked the kid, they got dysentery, have a nice day? Like, what the fuck was that? Why is there a shadow over here? Oh, I see why. I got my, oh, interesting. That's better. All right, so let's get the movie thing ready to go, but sometimes the tape kind of rolls off. You got to kind of push the tape into position. And other times, actually that works. Wait, if I can position this just right. There we go. Now my green screen is perfect. Leave the water bottle right over there. Clearly, I didn't take time to, you know, make sure my green screen is good to go. Yeah, Steve Buscemi. Yeah, he's bald in the movie, and he plays Khrushchev, and they speak English, so he doesn't have to have a Russian accent or anything like that. But yeah, that shit's wild. It's a good movie. Hey, what's up, Lady Mist? How you doing there? It's good to see you too. Yeah, this is how Kurumi says hi, and I respect it because, you know, it takes forever to say hello each and every person. So he just types in the fucking names. Like, boom, 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 boom. Name. Done. My job is done here. And I think that is quite acceptable. Hey, we got a Penguin fan here. How you doing there, Free to Think? Good to see you, bud. So we're going to use... Oh, wait, I got to put the chat up here on my top monitor so that we can put the video box on the right monitor, which means I got to put the OBS thing over here, which means I got to take the Rumble chat and put it somewhere where it won't really be easy to see. Then we're going to take the DaVinci window and put it on the left side of my main monitor, and we're going to resize it like this. A lot of consideration goes into this. Look, see, I got the DaVinci window here. See, I got an ultra widescreen monitor. My camera is off. I was going to turn on my camera, but I'm leaving it covered because I didn't clean my desk before the stream. So, you know, a little decency here, am I right? But I need that video monitor window because if I can't see what I'm doing, here it is. Okay, good. We're going to put the video monitor window up there. I'm going to use the right monitor where we got female LDP. Take a look at him one more time because you're not going to see him anymore tonight. Him, her, them, they. Yeah. So there we go. We're going to go back to the main monitor, and then I'm going to see how that looks over here. Not that it really matters. Okay, you know what? The letterbox black bar at the bottom is actually very useful because we can see the chat boxes there. So that's kind of handy dandy, isn't it? Hi, too long handle? It's a Kurumi reference. And Lady Mist, I seen you first. I just, you know, want to say hi to people who don't come here as frequently. No, I'm kidding. I was actually, there's no pecking order here. I was just kind of like, you know. Oh, I thought you were doing Bridge Over the River. Oh, hell no. I didn't have time to watch the movie. I saw letters from Iwo Jima this week. We're going to be talking about letters from Iwo Jima. Hello, turtles. Hello, Lady Mist. Where are the turtles? Let's get some turtles for Lady Mist. There we go. Hello, turtles. Hoping he's just offline for a while. No. SCE popped up. Who's SCE? It's good to see you, Rusty Rivers. Thanks for dropping in. It was harsh. It was a harsh battle. Cause of the steep terrain on a volcanic island. Absolutely. And interestingly, there was a guy, a YouTuber named The Fat Electrician. And he did he's a pretty good storyteller, this guy. So at some point, check out this story if you get bored. But basically, The Fat Electrician, you know, tells this story about a boy who is a little bit too young to be in the war. And apparently back during World War II, they actually vetted people. So in most of the services, especially World War I, you could you know, just kind of lie about your age and get in. But the Marines were known for whatever reason, they checked your age. I guess they wanted real men. And this guy somehow still got in as a Marine, although how, yeah, a Fat Electrician tells the story. But anyway, if you plug your ears for about 10 seconds, like starting now, starting right after I say now, if you don't want me to ruin what happens to this guy. I mean, you know, it's a good story, but I'm going to take about 10 to 15 seconds to tell what happened to this guy. So starting now. So anyway, he does end up on Iwo Jima physically, and very early on in the battle, after, you know, like marching slowly back and forth and helping to carry some ammo right when he's about to get into action, finally he's in a foxhole with a group of guys, and a grenade falls in there. And he doesn't know what to do, but basically he takes two grenades, puts them under his chest, and holds it in the sand, saving the lives of the men around him. Now, he gets blown out of the foxhole, left for dead, but later on, a corpsman gets to him, and luckily the volcanic sand allowed his blood to coagulate, so he did not bleed to death. All right, end of spoilers. So, you know, like I said, if you didn't hear the spoiler and you want to hear the whole story, Fat Electrician covers that in great detail. But my point is that, yeah, so the interesting thing, Kurumi, that you mentioned about that steep terrain, also the water sucked, and we're gonna see that in a moment. Like, apparently when they had like civilians and workers living there, there was enough water. They could use, like, you know, rain gutters and buckets to catch the rain water in order to collect enough drinking water. But once you had an influx of soldiers, it was a whole other ball game. You know what I mean? Like, it was like not enough water. And this plays heavily in this movie, or at least, like, it's pretty prominent in the movie review. So I think we should get right to it. But let's take a look at the chat. Hello, Mrs. Dadman Walking. Camping. Oh, you're camping. That's so cool. Hope you guys have fun. Pass my regards to Mr. Dadman Walking. I guess he's just Dadman Walking, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you guys are having a blast. Especially, yeah, absolutely not. And much anyone can do, drink extra water. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're on Iwo Jima and you get some dysentery, water was not necessarily a thing in high supply. And in fact, even before I started watching the movie, or right after I watched the movie Letters from Iwo Jima, I did get a book called, like, what the heck was it called? Something Tomb. Yeah, it's got a cool name. Got a picture of a Japanese sailor on the cover. Heck, let's open it up on Audible. I open up my Audible account, and we're going to find this movie. What do you mean I have to sign in? I'm always signed into Amazon's. Amazon's got the all-seeing eye, don't they? Isn't that what that logo is? No, I'm kidding. Okay, jokes aside, I'm going to go to my Amazon library, and here it is, guys and girls. And you know what? Good. This is an opportunity to make sure my camera is on over here, too, because it's not. Boom. Oh, I'm blocked by the thing. How dare you, chat, steal the spotlight from me? I won't let it happen. I'm kidding. Anyway, but this is the title of the book I read. A tomb called Iwo Jima. And it says first-hand accounts from Japanese survivors. So that's good. It's a happy ending, right? So Japanese survivors wrote this shit, which is like, whew. I actually didn't remember that caption until just now. So I'm kind of relieved to know that what I'm reading in the book are stories or accounts from survivors. And you got like a sailor here. And one of the things about Iwo Jima that's weird is that it was not necessarily occupied or ran by or, you know, whatever, what's the word, populated by, what's the military term for, you know, when you have a bunch of guys in a place? They weren't Japanese army. This was not the IJA. This was the Imperial Japanese Navy, because they did have a naval base or some kind of major, you know, command facility there. And, you know, they basically, like, pressed a bunch of sailors to work as soldiers, you know? And some of the survivors, interesting, like, I noticed that in some of the accounts, the survivor, one of the guys I'm reading about, or initially read about, listened to the audiobook about, was a radio man. So he went to whatever school, Yokosuka, or something like that, and learned to operate the radio and do the Morse code and all of that crap. And then there was another guy, he was a airplane mechanic. So one of the interesting things that I remember, like just literally last part of the book I read, there's a point where they like ask you, where do you want to serve? And you could basically say, oh, I want to serve at the homeland. I want to serve somewhere easy. But nobody says that, right? Because, you know, you get your ass kicked if you say that. So everyone says, send me to the first lines, you know. And basically, so it's like almost like one of those like voluntold situations where you really kind of don't have a choice. They ask you in the name of propriety, I guess. So this guy luckily gets sent to Iwo Jima. As a radio man, he ends up in a deep, you know, portion of the cave system, because that's one of the things that the Japanese did. They dug out a hell of a cave system on that island. And, you know, the radio section certainly was a little bit deeper, a little bit more well-shielded, certainly hot. Probably muggy. No mosquitoes, though. Due to the scarcity and lack of standing water, apparently mosquitoes were not a problem. So malaria was not an issue. But, you know, if people had dysentery and they're pooping all over the place and, you know, all of this stuff, you don't have enough toilets for the amount of men you got, yeah, not helpful, right? So that's the gist of it there. And what was it? Yeah, so like James said, that is the correct medical, you know, response to diarrhea. Although I don't think this is something that was available in great quantity. In fact, the radio man mentioned that there was a bucket of water with a guard standing posted over that bucket of water, and every hour you get like a cup of water, and it was enough water to like satiate some of your thirst, keep you alive. Not really enough water for your body to produce enough sweat to cool it down. Not really enough water to, you know, do much else. And so, you know, like that's like gives you an example of how scarce water rationing was before the battle even started. And I remember this radio man was talking about how he didn't dare take that leather earphone off of his head because, you know, back then you didn't have DVR in the conventional sense, right? So if you missed a beeping tone and you didn't get a complete message, man, you know, you were kind of worthless. So, of course, you'd have to listen to the message, you know, if it was Morse code or if it's coded. Because I think what it would be is that if it was in the clear, that's one thing. You might get a radio message. So at one point, a guy gets a message from a pilot saying, hey, I'm low in fuel. Because they would have the pilots take off because they didn't want the planes to be vulnerable to bombing. So the planes would take off and fly around and then come back, you know, to avoid bombing. But at one point, the guy's low on fuel. He says, hey, can I come back? I'm low on fuel. Or maybe he was coming from some other mission. in some other place. Bottom line is that he goes to the commander and says, hey, I got this message. The commander says, send back, go fly into a enemy ship, basically. Like, if you're out of fuel, you might as well just fly into enemy ship instead of ditching into the ocean. And the guy's like responding, what? Please confirm. And then that guy never sent another radio message again. Probably ditched in the ocean. Who knows? Hello, LCX. Good to see you today. I was just talking about how your character's way cuter. Your avatar is way cuter than Logan's. Logan's is all right. I don't think the legs do it for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a little scrawny in the knees. And like, I don't know, man. Something about it. Logan's female avatar's got a cute face. I'll give it that. I'll give him that. But, I mean, this works better. I mean, look at that wink right there. I mean, come on. That exudes cuteness compared to LDP's female character. Although, still pretty cute for a dude, I gotta say. I'll give him that. Which island? I do not recall. Huh? Oh, I saw a movie like that from the Japanese. Yeah, that was probably letters from Iwo Jima. Although, not necessarily. There's probably more than one movie where the Japanese are getting overrun. It was kind of a theme at some point in that war. Oh, yeah. Well, at least the story I just told. Everything I told you is basically a true story. I did not make anything up. I'm reasonably accurate, and I got it from sources that are reasonably accurate. The only sources that are not accurate is how the movie Letters from Iwo Jima talks about these letters, and you see in the beginning of the movie. In fact, hell, let's get to the movie review. Hang on. Give me a second here, fellas and ladies and gentlemen and what have yous. In the meantime, here, take a look at my robot. Okay. Good. Clean my desk a little bit. There we go. Get the grime off the desk. Oh my God, it's robot grease over here. No, I'm kidding. Okay, jokes aside. Where do I put the wipes? Yeah, who needs any wipes? Yeah, absolutely, Slim Nim. That's a good point. Crazy things happen in war. And as they say in wrestling, war is war. I don't know, that's what they said in the 90s. I wasn't really into that wrestling thing, but I know people who like it a lot. How's my camera view? Okay, it's a little bit better now. A little green screen mat. It's still a little sketchy here, but at this point, I'm not going to fix that, unfortunately. We'll just have to let it be, right? As the John Lennon song goes, let it be, or some shit like that. Anyway, it was bleak. Low everything supply-wise. Some tried suicide attacks. Banzai! Some tried to surrender. Well, we'll touch on that in a little bit. I mean, look, basically, from what I can understand, between the battles of Saipan and Iwo Jima, the front line people had a completely different experience. I didn't turn it on. I have to, open up the app for the robot voice, and then I have to, restart OBS. So typically, if I'm going to use the robot voice, I'm better off doing it before I start a stream. It's just easier and it works properly, and I don't have to do any finagling. In theory, I could make the robot voice work now if I wanted to, but without restarting OBS. But I'm better off just restarting OBS. But yeah, yeah. That alone, and like I said, that Iwo Jima volcanic sand definitely helps. So let's get the show on the road, because I meant to start this stream early so that people could, tune into Aris, who maybe like my channel as much as Aris' channel. And if you don't like Aris' channel, well, I don't know, you're missing out. But jokes aside, he plays cool games. I think some just collapsed from exhaustion, starvation, frustration. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And in John Toland's The Rising Sun, the rise and fall of Imperial Japan, they sort of go over that, how, after the war is over, as the war is wrapping up, you got people in, what's that place called? In Burma. And they hold on to their last grenades, and their intent is to do, a last suicide attack. So at some point, you got some soldiers going there, Allied soldiers to mop up the place, to find people to surrender, so to speak. Because at this point, major combat operations are effectively over. And a guy is, takes his grenade, goes to ignite it, he pulled a pin, slap it. Apparently Japanese grenades require you to slap it against your helmet or slap it against your belt. and then you hear the primer go, tss, and nothing happens. This guy tosses the grenade, gets another grenade, does the same thing. That grenade doesn't even ignite. So at that point, he's like down 2 or 3 grenades, and the guys are like, "Look, buddy, it's cool. Just surrender. It's all good." And a lot of times, these guys are expecting the worst, and they actually got quite good hospitality when everything was said and done. Like, they're brought back to base camp, treated tenderly by a doctor, given a hot meal, you know, as they say, 3 hots and a cot, you know? And they realize, oh, you know, maybe these American guys aren't assholes after all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, Midway is like the beginning of the end for Japan. And I don't have the chronology offhand right now, but I want to say Iwo Jima was after Saipan, but I guess we can find out. Was Iwo Jima? I actually had a chronology. I actually had a chronology on my screen, but it was way too long-winded. Okay, Iwo Jima was after the Battle of Saipan. So Battle of Saipan was the first time they encountered civilians. Now, while they encountered civilians at Battle of Saipan, they did evacuate the civilians at Iwo Jima, as we'll see. So we're going to get right to the movie grenade. Wet stick grenade. I like the German grenades. They have this, like, it looks like a broom handle. That is Space, the Final Frontier. And this is a movie about Iwo Jima. Now, do we want to put the sound effects on? I think we want sound. You guys want sound effects, am I right? All right, we're going to get you some sound effects. Hang on. Okay, we got you sound effects. So hopefully this ain't too loud. Hopefully it's not going to get me copyright struck. What the heck is DaVinci? Oh, I gotta close DaVinci, reopen it because DaVinci don't like it when I switch audio sources midstream. So we'll have to stream over in no time. It's gonna be a pretty fast one today, I'm pretty sure. Just waiting for DaVinci to open. I use DaVinci for these movie reviews because it's just easy to fast forward. I use the speed editor, and it's kind of a gimmick, but it's kind of cool too because like it has a fast forward. You know, it's got the shuttle jog. What makes it dumb are these numbered buttons here. These buttons are absolutely dead to me. They're only good if you buy cameras from the DaVinci people from Blackmagic Design. But I'm not buying cameras from them yet, although they got good cameras. So now we're gonna go here. Here, take a look at my robot while I wipe my face. Oh, there we go. Got a little teary-eyed there while I was yawning there. All right, got letters from Iwo Jima loading up right now. It's gonna come up over here. Excuse me, I apologize for the yawning there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, one more time. Got to move the window to the left. This time you'll have sound, so we don't have to worry about messing with that. And where's the YouTube chat? Oh, YouTube chat is up here. Here it is. All right, good. Hey, Kelly, how you doing, my love? Good to see you. I'm off to work. Hi ho, off to work you go. And I appreciate the like button. Thank you. Aw. Lady Miss left some flowers. Hello, LCX. Yeah, so basically Midway was like the beginning of the end, and you're right, it was a big air battle. It was a fleet engagement as well, although the Battle of Leyte Gulf was also a hell of a fleet engagement in its own right. You know, it was like basically the beginning of liberating the Philippines from the Japanese was the Battle of Leyte Gulf, which is really more of a series of other battles, right? It's not its own battle. I forget where the Battle of the Coral Sea fits into that, but you get the idea. Yeah, basically. I mean, as the war got to the end and Japanese supply lines dwindled, it got to a point where the soldiers were lucky if 50% of the supplies were making it to any given destination. And there were some points, I remember, like, I think it was the Battle of Saipan, where, like, things were desperate. And the Emperor was like, please, send relief to my soldiers, you know? And so they tried this harebrained scheme where they tried, like, send some boats out at night and put some boxes on rope and float them out to the coast with the hope that if you could just, like, take these floating boxes and send them to the beach, the soldiers kind of pull it in there and get what they need. It didn't quite work, but that was like a desperate attempt to get supplies in during a beleaguered, when these guys were heavily beleaguered. Atari games on the 800? Wait, like World War II or Midway? I'll have to download those and try them out sometime. Oh, thank you. There we go. Include a turtle. Why do I always get so yawny at midnight? Like, I'll get a second wind right after the stream ends. That's the insane thing. And at some point, there were 2 really large bangs, and then it was over. Oh, yeah, of course, the 8-bomb. The atomic weapons. And look, I mean, like, I think they saved lives. I have a friend, he thinks, like, that atomic bombs did not end the war. That it was the specter of Stalin, the invasion of the Russians that was the big, thing that motivated him. I would say that neither factor is mutually exclusive. I would say that the nuke motivated the Japanese to move along, but also, including Hirohito, anybody who is remotely interested in trying to, sue for peace, before that, the peace camp wasn't really at an advantage, but the 2 nukes helped them along, and part of it was simply like that. Now you're not promoting surrender. You're saying, hey, look, we're not surrendering to the Americans. We're surrendering to that, and, you got to remember, atomic weaponry is like the power of the sun on a smaller scale. Granted, it's not fusion, it's fission, but if you think about it, the sun's got all that hydrogen, but if it was being ignited in a conventional sense, that hydrogen would be gone in no time. It is because of nuclear fusion. It is because when you split the atom, you're releasing an enormous amount of energy, and you're getting that chain reaction where you're causing other atoms to release enormous amounts of energy. And essentially, it's a way of stretching the fuel of the sun over an extended time span. And that's how you get that hunk of plutonium or uranium or whatever to do that, to create a plasma ball, so to speak, right? Well, no, it saved Japanese lives too. I know this is gonna sound like I'm being an apologist for dropping the bomb, because trust me, like I understand it was extremely cruel and harsh to the people of Hiroshima, and believe it or not so harsh to Nagasaki, because that was like the backup city, and they had like mountains to kind of dampen the explosion, or kind of contained it, but still not good to be in the wrong place, right? But the reason is, I was watching a video of this old lady working at the war college or some shit like that, right, Slim? And essentially what she was saying was that as soon as the nukes were dropped and as soon as the surrender came in, it allowed us to ship in food. And so prior to that, Japan was under a, pretty serious blockade. I mean, you had submarines. We had like a glut of submarines. Like, at a certain point in the war, we had probably more submarines than we knew what to do with. We got to a point in the war where the Japanese had no navy, and the submarines are using a deck cannon to shoot at sampans, like little cargo ships. And basically, by getting that surrender order in and getting the things to move along, if you think about it, another 6 months of blockade means that much starvation. Now, you're not wrong that it saved a lot of American lives too, because we would have had to invade the southernmost island of Japan, which would have been Kyushu, right? Kyushu. Here, we'll get a picture of the islands of Japan. We're going to find a nice picture of the Japanese main islands real quick. I know I keep saying, oh, we'll get to the movie island in a second. A movie review in a second. But I think this is valuable information. Okay, that's a dumb website. That's a dumb website. That's a useless website. I just want a simple and clean map. Okay, this will have to do. This picture sucks. This picture is a cartoon. And this one looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. All right, good. We got you. All right, beautiful. Here, let me put that in full screen for you. And so, of course, northernmost island is Hokkaido. The big one is Honshu. And you can notice that Shikoku is sort of like wedged right there under Honshu. And then you got Kyushu. And you got a chain of other islands down here, including Okinawa and islands that are associated with the prefecture that Okinawa resides in. I forget which one, but also known as the Ryukyu Islands. The people of Okinawa were actually only under Japanese rule for about 60 years at the point of World War II. But anyway, here's Kyushu. So this is where we would have had to make our initial invasion. And, considering the amount of blood that we had to exchange for land to go, to conquer the islands of Saipan and Iwo Jima, Shichijima, amongst others that may not come to mind right now, you got additional factors at play here. Yes, the Japanese were holding on to some of their strength. They actually sent many planes back as a reserve for the final battle, so to speak. But at this point, they were training civilians to use bamboo sticks with blades on them or to sharpen the bamboo sticks. They were pretty much having civilians use improvised weapons, or they had a plan. And, so you'd be in a situation where you couldn't tell your combatants apart from civilians who maybe were not interested in combat, because in theory, everyone was a combatant. So that would have been an extra challenge on its own right there. But more importantly, like the time it would take to do this part of the campaign alone, when you take into account the other shit we were doing. Now, yeah, maybe we would soften the ground with more aerial bombardment. I mean, certainly firebombing was like in vogue, and some people argue that the atomic bomb wasn't necessary because of the extent of the firebombing. Although I would still say like 1 or 2 atomic bombs helped on a social level, especially with the way that, the mindset was of the militarist elite, because that's what was wrong with Japan, essentially. I'd say the root of why Japan, even went, on the, on the adventurism, the militarism, whatever you want to call it. The reason that they conquered Manchuria amongst other places, and, they took a pretty big bite of the world for a short while there. Like by 1942, that was the full extent of the Japanese Empire, and in fact, that's a cool picture. We're gonna find a cool picture of that. So, 1942. And it's a good thing. The shorter this movie review is, the less spoilers I can accidentally belie, right? So that could be good. So anyway, let me just find a good picture. And every time someone posts this on Twitter, they bitch and moan about like, oh, the war crimes. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. We all, like, I've heard enough about that. Like, I know, I get it. I'm not saying it's not relevant. It's just that I also notice that some circles are more inclined to bitch about it. It's relevant. It's worth talking about. Like, look, I read about Unit 731, so I'm well aware of that shit. But, like, at the same time, I think that the Americans have blood on their hands when it comes to Unit 731, considering we basically inherited all of their research. All right, so I'm trying to find the good picture here. Largest extent of Japanese Empire. Let's go with that one. All right, here we are. So there's a lot of pictures of this, but I want to find a cool picture. What is this blue one? Why is this shit blue over here? Oh, those are the allies. Okay, good. All right, here we are. So we're going to get a couple pictures. So I went on Reddit, which means that I might have AIDS now. Okay, so there's like a simplified picture here. But you can see, like how, like some pictures, the map is a little different. Like you have these little bubbles along the coast of China. And that says a lot to me. It says to me that they didn't quite get a lot of ingress into China. Like they had these areas, but clearly their influence was somewhat limited if they couldn't like really, like take everything from here to here. And I admit it's a challenge, right? But you can see you had I guess that's Vietnam. Is that Vietnam or is that Korea? I always mix those up. Oh, that's Korea, right? Is that Korea? Well, I don't know. Let's look at a map with labels on it. Okay, that map sucks. And Reddit is whack. Okay, that's why Reddit is whack, because it doesn't even let me do that. All right, well, I don't have time for that shit. So, anyway, Palau, Caroline Islands, Gilbert. Okay, so obviously they took a crap ton of islands. They got as south as New Guinea. That's racist towards us Italians. They got the Dutch East Indies, which I guess includes Indonesia. You got Vietnam. So this thing that looks like a dong is Vietnam. Okay, it's not a dong, but you know what I mean. Florida looks like a dong too. Anyway. And the Koreas, I guess, are like around here. But point is, pretty big chunk of the world. So why did I go on this side topic? Oh, yeah. Bottom line is, yeah, I think that it is reasonable to consider that once the surrender order came in, once they were willing to surrender, once Hirohito was no longer at risk of getting assassinated by, complying with a surrender, like now you got food coming in. I mean, we were able to free our POWs, but also during that process, we're sending in food. And granted, we didn't like solve every problem. They had a famine issue after the war, but the military dictatorship run under MacArthur's command, under Supreme Commander MacArthur, who effectively sort of became a Gaijin Shogun if you think about it. Not that was ever an official title. Maybe a few kids or people made jokes, but yeah, Gaijin Shogun. That's a pretty cool fucking title right there. Um, because the Shogun is apparently responsible for defense and all of that shit, military. Who the hell is Yokai? I'm sorry, Shoichi Yokai. Let's try. Okay, I'll find out. We'll find out. He's cool looking. I don't know who he is, but he looks cool. I guess he's a bad guy. I'm saying he looks cool. I'm gonna find out he's a bad guy. He's a very bad man. No, I'm kidding. Let's try. Shoichi Yokai. Roger that. Yokai was a huge, it doesn't say huge, was a Japanese soldier who served as a sergeant in the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II and was one of the last 3 Japanese holdouts to be found. Oh yeah, we talked about this. And there was a guy who surrendered in the 70s, right? I think that was the other guy we read about. But you get, so I forgot, so anyway, yeah, so I don't know what the answer is. I have a coworker, he thinks that the atomic bomb was just something that Truman was deploying so that we could test the effects, and that we sent doctors there not to help the people, but to learn about how it affects humans. I don't know if that's true, but I'd say that it's a reasonable trade. Some people say it wasn't enough, especially on the internet, where people have like cooties. But I'd say number one, the civilians were not necessarily on board with any of the bad shit that the Imperial Army did. Number two, the Navy was arguably run by sane people, and it was the Imperial Army that had the questionable people, although I'm sure I'm oversimplifying that a lot. One of the interesting things that we're going to have a guest on soon, and he'll be able to elucidate a little bit more on this, but apparently there were a lot of instances where the Imperial Army were asking the Navy for things that they simply couldn't provide. And so, obviously if you're trying to set expectations for things that the Army can't provide, and you're surprised that that the Navy can't provide, and you're surprised that you lost or that you were defeated. Oh, Stalk of Iron has a hot lady on his show. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that's on my TV. You get the idea. Anyway, let's. I think he has a similar problem right now too. Too many chiefs. Who has too many chiefs? Hello, awesome one. Yeah, I just went on a rant and I don't even know if I was being accurate. I swear, whenever I look at that picture of Awesome One, it looks like he's holding either a snake on his shoulder or an SLR camera. I think it's an SLR camera. Can't even let me sing this song, dang YouTube. What happened? I don't know what happened. What happened? Maybe they moved to Argentina with Adi Hitler. So what was the letter? Oh, yeah, we should talk about that. Okay, so yeah, let's clean slate. Is Kai still alive? Yes. Kai from Mobile Suit Gundam is still alive. He survived the Operation Stardust. Hello, Peter Venkman fan site. How you doing? It's good to see you there. That's Yokai. Don't encourage him. All right, I'm back on track. I'm going to avoid that topic. Not because I mind it, but because that's another rabbit hole, and actually I'm very ill-informed on it, so I'd be really speaking out of my rectum on that one. Yes, that is a large... that is a large peninsula. Yes. Okay, I thought I was going to have to censor that one. Good to see you there, Venkman fan site. So, okay, yes, thank you. Get me back on track there. Yeah, I think he has a snake on his shoulder now. I mean, it's either a vintage SLR or a snake, but if you've seen it, I got an old camera strap from my mom's and her late brother's camera, from my late mother and her late brother, right? So, it's handed down. And man, that is a retro camera strap right there. I love it. But when I go traveling, I don't always... I stopped using the retro camera strap for a little while. Then I went back to using it again because it's just so damn touristy. I don't want to look like a tourist, but I love the 70s vibe. I think, you know what is... I started using the 1970s camera strap when I went to Retropalooza in 2000 and when the second to last Valhalla Con event was, or technically the last big Valhalla Con. I even have a Loki's Mornings of Mischief mug over here. If I wasn't wearing boxers, I'd get up and show you. But yeah, when I went to that, there was a convention called Retropalooza in that part of Texas. So I was like, hell yeah, I might as well bring the the old camera strap to, fit the retro vibe. All right, we're going to get back on topic now. It's an Indian headdress. Oh, yeah. You know what? Once I look at it closely, it looks more like one of those Russian hats with the fur on it. But the headdress is on your head. What's on your shoulder is the question. I found on a cliff in Colorado. What? Oh, Native American. Okay, Indian. It's okay to call them Indian. I'm just clarifying that it's not Apu from The Simpsons. These are the American Indians. But which one is it? Is it Cherokee, Navajo, Lakota, Iroquois, Sioux, which is actually another name of Lakota, Winnebago, Appalachian, that's not a real name, Aquahongan, that is a real name, Canarsie. How many Native American tribe names can you name? Next time someone corrects you and tells you to say that it's indigenous peoples or Native Americans, demand that they name as many actual Native American nations that they can and call them out on it when they can't. Maybe it wasn't authentic Indian. When I was like 5, I thought Indians were this. Not at all. Well, maybe some of them. It was made from an animal's flesh, so... Yeah, I was talking about the guy that came out of the caves in the 70s. Okay, he was a little bit later, but I think you mentioned, I think it was Shiro something. Or Amada. No, that's the guy from Gundam. Lakota Sioux. He knows! The shoulder is a headdress, and the raccoon hat is Canadian. Oh, yeah. So, funny story. My dad lost his Davy Crocker hat when he was a kid on the ferry. So when I went to San Antonio, Texas, I bought a Davy Crocker hat at the Alamo. At the time, I did not know that Pee Wee Herman's bike was in the basement until Slim Nim told me after the fact. Quite unfortunate. I totally would have tried to go to the basement. Like, I would have happily gotten arrested trying to access the basement to the Alamo shop. You know? But unfortunately, no, I would not have happily gotten arrested. I would have actually not wanted to delay my departure going home. You know, I kind of got a little homesick towards the end, and getting arrested in prison and missing my flight would really put a damper on me. You know what I mean? Go get a name and find out. Well, I'll find a name later. That'll put me off track right now. Harvested too soon. Yikes. All right, so we're going to get on topic now, kiddos. All right, so let's get the movie on screen. Here's your feature presentation. Hey, what's that white stuff in the corner? Can I hide that? Oh, yeah. There we go. The green tape over there is making a little white spot. All right, let's go. All right, gotta adjust my Mickey Mouse pointer. All right, the movie is playing. Is it playing? It is. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward it a lot to save you time. Oh God, what button did I hit? Oh, Schnizer. All right, let's try that again. Easy does it. Can you guys see? All right, you could see it, right? Good. So basically it starts with the picture of the mountain, just like Kurumi said. Yeah, you got that terrain right over there. And that is Mount Suribachi. And it's such a cool name that even the Americans did not bother renaming it to something boring. I mean, we can pronounce Suribachi, right? Hell yeah. Dope name. And there's like a memorial. I don't know why it looks like a QR barcode, but I guess that's just a way to do these things. I don't know why there's... Oh, there's beer! Asahi. I never noticed that. Oh, that's cool. Like, people are leaving... Like, I'm guessing the bottled water is for the dead, right? That's not like courtesy beer so that you go to the memorial and you can drink a bottle of water. I'm pretty sure that is for the dead. It's like very interesting custom. I figured giving beer to the dead makes sense, but modern day plastic bottled water? And it looks like somebody even left the bottle of water open. This is not something I was planning on nitpicking at, but there's an open bottle of water over there. 39 minutes is your bet. What are we talking about? Deep in the heart of Texas. Spiritual understanding of the life-giving land. Show us a good feeling, a good film. Okay, we're going to show you a good film. That we will do. And I'm going to skip some chats here because I tend to take a long time reading the chat. Oh, did I say hello to Lemon Pie? I saw you say hello. I put your name on the screen, but I don't know if I said hello, Lemon Pie. It is a pleasure to see you here today, Lemon Pie. Really? Okay, glad you're keeping tabs. Well, don't worry. I don't want to spoil this. I want you people to see this movie and enjoy it yourself. So I'm going to gloss over quite a bit on purpose, and I'm going to avoid spoiling the shit out of it for you guys. For example, what happens to Uranus the Stallion? Stallion, not Stalin. Stallion, the horse. Well, That part I will spoil for you, but everything else, gonna be pretty careful about that one. Or I'll die trying. All right. Banzai! Hey! Let's go. All right, so you got the wreckage of the war right here. Look at that. So apparently you don't get the copyright strike if you fast forward your way through a movie like I'm doing here. So the movie starts out where these guys from some group are like, doing some excavations. He's got a modern Nikon camera, which I believe is pronounced Nikon. I have an old Nikon camera, and I got a couple of slightly newer Nikon cameras that are still technically old, but new by comparison to my film camera. And clearly they're excavating the caves, and the guy's like, how did they dig in here? And in fact, that reminds me, I need to open up a VLC media player. So in the event that I need to read subtitles to you guys, I will just pull it up in VLC media player. Deal? So I'm gonna keep VLC media player open on the side, and if I need to read subtitles, I will. And once again, thank you, Slim, for depressing the shit out of me. Thank you for depressing me. This is the movie that Slim told me about. Beautiful movie. It depressed the shit out of me. You broke my heart. I'm broken. I'm a broken fucking man now. All right, let's get that movie off the screen. I'm sorry. Oh, good. You guys can't hear the audio, right? Okay, cool. So anyway, let's open up recent media. Let us eat Iwo Jima. Okay, good. Because we might need subtitles. And that's the only thing annoying about me doing it this way is that I don't really like... I like doing it with the DaVinci Speed Editor, but I have a feeling we're just going to do it this way. So let's roll. I have VLC media player open now. See? Nippon. Well, not Nikon or Nikon is the camera company. Nippon, you're right, is how the Japanese say Japan. And interestingly, I noticed that the lens on my Nikon, it says Nippon Kogaku. I used to think it was some guy's name. I thought maybe some Japanese guy designed the lens, but now I'm starting to think that it means, well, for like years I started thinking it means something else. So I don't know what Nippon Kogaku is, but that's what it says on my Nikon f1.4 camera lens. But I do thank you for the correct nomenclature. That is indeed how the Japanese say Japan. It's kind of funny how, like, in other languages, a name is completely different. You would think the name is a name. Like, what the hell is my name in Japanese? Is my name even Ron in Japanese? Like, am I Ronald? Am I Ronald? Like, what is Ronald like something like Kakizaki in Japanese? That's what I want to know. Nippon. I say tomato, you say Linux. What's up, low-spec Linux laptop? Good to see you, bud. As we say in Angela's stream, nip control. Oh, how is Angela doing? I haven't watched a sumo thing. In fact, the hard drive on my DVR kind of went kaput. Well, I had two hard drives in RAID mode. And long story short, one of the things I prioritized backing up on that system was the sumo. Because, like, even though I don't really watch sumo, ever since watching Angela Curry, right? Angela Curry, is that the name of the girl? Ever since watching her stuff, like, and watching the Grand Sumo stuff, like, I got an appreciation for sumo now. So I started recording it because I figure I can skim through it once in a while and watch it, and like, now I'm not just making fun of the fact that there's guys, like, who look like they're wearing diapers. Now I understand what they're doing, like, and now I can appreciate the physics involved in trying to toss another big man, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking fascinating shit when you really, like, start to get into it. What up there? Chaos for you. 728. Chaos is always so kind. You know what Chaos does at the end of many of his streams? He shouts out people, including me. And so I kind of like that system because it means that instead of me, like, shouting people out midstream, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should learn something from Chaos and just shout out a list of people at the end of the stream. And I honestly don't know if he shouts me out when I'm not there, but there are times where I lurk. And then just as the stream is ending, I'll say hello because I want to at least give my respects. And then I'll get a shout out. So I don't know if I'm prompting that or if he's going to do it anyway. I mean, either way, I don't care. Like, I understand if you only shout out people who are there. But he shouts out a list of people, like, real quick at the end and, like, does good respect. And I appreciate what you say there. And he plays good games, and his gaming machine streams the video in proper quality. So weeks ago when I did a stream about streaming quality and bit rates and all of that stuff, Chaos, whether he knows it or not, has it figured out. Getting back on topic here. Mine doesn't exist in Japanese. At least the nickname doesn't. Sure it does. The Pietro Vinkman. Okay, no, I'm not going to try to say the name in Japanese. Hope you in the chat are having a great day. Well, I can't say I'm having a great day right now, but I am having a great evening. I'm trolling. But anyway, I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you're having a great day and evening as well. In college, we had a club with a Japanese student, and she wrote people's names on rice paper with a brush in katakana. Is it katakana or katakana? No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I gotta look into that. I know they use some Japanese glyphs. I mean, I know they use some Chinese glyphs, but I also know there's a writing system that only uses Japanese. And then I see that awesome one is gonna make my life harder. Oh, we have a solution to this. We have a solution to this. Because LCX recommended a plugin from Google Chrome. We can read this shit. We can read this. Hey, why is there 2 boxes on the screen here? Okay, that's better. Uh-oh. It's blocked by the bottom of the browser window. So this one says... I don't know what that says. Let's see if we can highlight the whole thing. Can we highlight the whole thing? Tortoise? Something about a turtle? Bamboo? Okay, this is not working. Translate to English. Okay, I believe that spawned a browser window somewhere. I'll be damned if I know where. Seriously, where the hell did it open a browser window? I literally just said, translate to English. Oh, there it is. Translate for... Oh, Ronald is a turtle enthusiast. It says it in the corner. I missed it. I was being a boomer. See, right next to the temperature of my computer? Yeah, I'm keeping tabs on the temperature because it's starting to get warm outside. Well, thank you. Thank you, awesome one. That is true. That is very true. I love my turtles. If I could talk to Poffy right now, I'd tell her how much I love her. In fact, I kind of neglected her for a day or two. But I mean, they could take it. But when I got downstairs today, their light was off. And if their light is off, their filter is off. And if their filter and light is off, well, you know, I don't know how long it was off. So I turned the filter back on, which actually I probably should have double-checked before doing, because my biggest fear in life is if the filter is off for too many days in a row, if I haven't checked on it, you know, the water might be kind of stale. But I think I looked at the turtle tank recently enough that it was safe for me to turn the filter back on. So I did. And certainly they can't go basking on the basking dock. But, like, you know, usually I show up, the light is off. I apologize to them. Like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. You know, like for neglecting them and them not having the sunlight. And then I throw them some food. I say, don't eat too much food because you haven't had the basking light for a day. So, you know, they gotta warm up to eat their food. But I digress. Nippon Kokiku K Japan Optics Co. Limited Ltd. Thank you. With translation. With the translation. I see. Oh, I wouldn't. Maybe not. Sometimes. Depends. I mean, I hope my turtles are the happiest. But now, jokes aside, they can get unhappy, I suppose. All right. On topic. So, yeah. I suppose we're going to turn on the subtitles. We're going to skim through the movie like this. Boom. Okay. And we are at this scene here, which is at about 2:02. So at 2:02, basically the guy goes, wow, I wonder how these people dug this shit out. And then while they're digging, they're like, oh, hey, we found like some shit over here. So you got these guys, they're hitting the shoulder, they're hitting something. It looks like a leg or a box. So either there's a body there or a box. That might be a body. That might be the General Kiribayashi. But then you got this flashback, and they're digging in the sand. And this guy's like, man, he's like also narrating a letter to his wife. And he's like, yeah, we're practically digging our own grave. We're digging the trenches we're going to fight in and probably our graves. And you got this airplane coming by. I think that's called a Betty. Don't quote me on that. I mean, it's not the Japanese name. And this is kind of cool because it got, like, you know, this, like, pretty old. You got this soft material here, and you got this stuff that looks like plastic or canvas or foil, probably canvas. And, you know, it's just a simple airplane. Clearly a transport. Let's see if we can get some audio for you guys here. I don't have any audio. The computer says we have audio. Do you guys have audio? Can you hear the audio, guys? I'm going to make sure the Bluetooth... Oh, wait. Wrong window. There we go. Can you guys hear the audio? Mochi. That's awful. If you can tell me what mochi is, I believe... I got a place here that sells mochi donuts. But my question is... do they oh good, I got sound. Okay, I got sound. You guys let me know as we go along if the sound is too loud for you, all right? Also, one of these days I gotta hire somebody to be like a producer, somebody who can monitor the YouTube studio window for me when I'm doing this, because my biggest issue is keeping tabs on YouTube Studio, making sure that it's not getting flagged. And I unplugged my drawing tablet temporarily while I clean my desk partially and reline the surface mat. Anyway, I'll take care of that on my end. If I had my drawing tablet hooked up right now, I wouldn't be... Is my drawing tablet here? You know what? I better not plug it in right now. That would be... It might shuffle my screens to me. No sound, no peace. No sound, no peace. No sound, no peace. I call bullshit. No, I'm kidding. There was no sound before, actually. You are correct. Oh, there's still no sound. And you know what they say? When you don't have sound, you know what that means? It's highly un-American. Oh, I know why. I got it. I have to switch to my bone conduction headphones. There we go. You're going to have sound now. It's going to be real loud, too, I bet you. Kuso! He said, I think he said shit or damn. And we're not going to go and look at the subtitles. Unfortunately, that's one thing I forgot to do before the stream. Because normally, like, when I want to show subtitles, I have to actually burn in the subtitles. So, if I play in VLC Media Player, we'll get subtitles, but I just like using the fast forward button on the DaVinci box way more. See, how do these soldiers ever manage to dig out tunnels? And then just as he's saying, how do they dig tunnels? He's like, Hanako. I want to hear him say shit. See, he's like, oh, we dig our own graves. All day, every day. The hole that we're fighting, the hole we will die in. And I got this very nice music. Clint Eastwood did a great job directing this. So then at some point, there's the Betty or whatever plane it is. I think like, I want to say it's a bomber, but don't quote me on that. It certainly looks like a transport here. And this guy is actually, this is actually really important. I'm going to give time to this because we're going to skip over some, but I do want to give you guys some of the motivations, some of the backstory here of the characters. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's very important that we touch on that. You're telling me. Oh, I did ask about Mochi, didn't I? Unless you have plenty of land to let them do it on. Well, I guess I'm thinking of tortoise as opposed to a turtle. Yeah, that's true too. What do what on? Oh yeah. Well, the tortoise. Yeah, I got a tortoise table. I need to reset up for him, so I need to clear the space again. I can make the tortoise table quite deep and quite long. One of the things I noticed though is that he doesn't utilize the entire length of the tortoise table, but its length gives him enough temperature gradient that he can go from one side to the other, and essentially the part near the illumination near the light is warmer, and then if it's too hot he can go to the cold end. So that is a thing. Oh, that's Ginger Wolf. That's who the hot girl. By the way, Ginger Wolf, lovely lady. I think she was on Snowdub show the other day. Oh yeah, Ginger Wolf, and of course, you know, our dear friend, the F-It show. Why can't my brain is fucking farting right now? You know, Piper. The Adventures of Piper. Yeah, The Adventures of Piper and Ginger Wolf. They gave a memorable performance on Snowdub show the other day. So, I'm not saying you should tune into Stalk of Iron right now, but that's what I see on my TV right now. Anyway, getting back on topic. I'm sorry. So, did I answer my question about Mochi? Did anyone answer my question about Mochi? Koi, no turtle lover. Huh? Turtle. Hence the reason I don't have a turtle. I will always want an African. Oh yeah, African spiked or African spurf-eyed tortoises. Yeah, like that's something you get when you live in Florida. I believe Tommy of the Guinea Pig Collective, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, he has a tortoise of some kind that his wife takes care of, that he puts outside and takes inside when it's storming out or something like that, or when it's winter. So yeah, that's a thing. I have a Russian tortoise. He's a little guy. He's about this big. Whereas my turtles, my aquatic turtles, you know, like more like dinner plate size. But it's more important that they have something in the order of 75 gallons each. And that's basically what I have. I have like a 150 gallon tank. You see it in the video I show you guys all the time. That's a 150 gallons Rubbermaid stock tank. You can look it up. It's a product that you could buy from various places, and Rubbermaid produces it. So Yeah, 150-gallon stock tank. Donuts on a stick or something like that. Because I thought it was ice cream. Then I saw a donut that looked like a regular Dunkin' donut, but it came in like a green tea flavor, for example. Red bean snacks. Oh yeah, I used to think red bean snacks were whack. Like I was disgusted by it. I was like, who the fuck? Like, yeah, but I've been to a place in the city called Munchies. They got fucking dried clams there. But apparently it's cool. Like I know a Chinese dude. He's like, oh yeah, fried clams, they're great. And I'm just like, I guess I gotta try it before I knock it. But it seems kind of like odd. I mean, maybe it's like beef jerky, so maybe it's not that weird. But my point is, yeah, I saw a red bean cake. I thought that shit was weird too. So I mentioned it. My boss like, oh yeah, that stuff's pretty good. And I'm like, huh. So I tried it out. Actually, yeah, red bean cake was pretty good. Like it's a little weird. The texture is a bit like beans. It is, but it is a sweet bean. And actually, yeah, it's not bad. Piper food. You're telling me does a body good. That's a milk commercial from the 90s. Milk, it does a body good. And Piper is also super sweet too. Not only like does she have the beautiful curves on that frontal area, but she's cool, I mean, like, I appreciate her. I wish I tuned into the Effort show more often. I bet she'd let me jump on the Effort show too when she's having an open stream. And even when I don't, like, I just tuning in, it's a good interaction, I think, sometimes. I'm quite amused by the interactions. On the Rumble side, there's somebody on the Rumble side? No, there's not. Oh, yeah. Well, about that. You're right. You got a point there, yes. Snow Dub had a good show. A spectacular show with Piper and Ginger Wolf, but you're absolutely right. That is sort of a Rumble exclusive. You might get it at the tail end of the YouTube upload on Snow Dub Live. That's a separate YouTube channel called Snow Dub Live. But you are absolutely right that, yes, this is a Rumble thing, basically. Correct. Jelly filled are my favorite. I like Boston cream jelly donuts. I like a lot of donuts. Love that clip forever. Huh? What clip? Tommy chatted somewhere. He's alive. Oh, is he here or chatted somewhere else? Okay, well, I know he's alive. I didn't doubt he was alive. With turtles, the problem with tortoises is... Hey, what up, Curtis? YZ Reacts. Good to see you. The problem with turtles/tortoises is they take forever to fetch the ball when I throw it. The trick is, you just gotta scare the shit out of them. You scare the shit out of a turtle, and they will move fast, okay? Trust me, I know. I don't do it on purpose, but you'd be surprised how fast the turtle goes. But jokes aside, in all seriousness, I can't speak for the tortoise. He's pretty slow moving. I mean, even when he wants to move fast, he's just awkwardly shaped, But the aquatic turtles, I mean, look at the video I have here. Like, what the hell is Puffy doing in there? Like, she's at like a 100-degree angle. Like her plastron, her chest is at a 100-degree angle with relation to a wall, basically. Like she climbed there, despite her. And if that barrier wasn't there, she'd find a way out. You know how I know that? Because in that video, in the top right corner, you see evidence of a turtle. See that thing there? That's a piece of a Squirtle shell. That's called a scoot. And that scoot is there because Squirtle managed to climb on top of the vertical barrier. And see, I picked it up. That's evidence that Squirtle escaped and jumped back in. And the problem is that turtle tank has a wall and a T-shaped barrier, so they can't go to the other side. Okay, so I don't know how Squirtle did it. I think I know how I reinforced it, but like, my point is, yeah, they can climb shit. They can kind of run. Mainly, it's for short bursts. So, for example, if you're near a body of water, they're able to run very quickly into that body of water. So when you Google a video of a turtle running, it'll typically be a turtle running from the grassy, area next to a lake and into the lake. And granted, it's also a downhill run, so they can go that much faster. And at that point, it's like launching a boat, they're just sliding into the water, basically. So, there's that. But generally speaking, yeah, not good at playing fetch. I threw a ping pong ball in the turtle tank a while back. And all they do is they bite the ping pong ball, and it just comes out of their mouth. It's like when you try to bite like a grapefruit, and just like slips out. It does that, and it's kind of cruel, but it does give them something to do. It just, they don't ever get the satisfaction of catching the ball. It constantly slips out of their beak. And yes, they have a beak. The bobs were on the Rumble side. Ah, yes, the boobies were on the Rumble side. You could say boobs or BEWBS, I guess, too. But, at that point, I feel like if people use a fancy word to say boobs, At that point, the censorship is going to detect that word too, right? If the censors are smart. I haven't been on any puppet. What? How? Well, you haven't been on it, but have you tuned in? Have you not tuned into Floral from Under a Rock? Actually, Floral, I think, took this week off. I hope he feels better. I hope we see him next week. I know he's got a stream scheduled for next week, but I believe he's been under the weather. So for those who are into prayer, say a prayer for him. For those who are not into prayer, maybe send some good vibes his way. Leave a comment, like a video, be nice or some shit, right? Yeah, turtles are cool indeed. Oh, do I still? Yeah, that too. That happened too. When I first started putting webcams in the turtle tank, they would drag the camera into the water like a fishing line. Oh, actually, you ain't wrong. You're not wrong. That's sort of like they get, during the summer seasons. Boobless. Oh, boobs. I'm sorry, boobless is the other one. The Joker's on the shoulder boulder. The Joker's over the shoulder boulder holder. Okay. What are you doing? You trying to make me do a Peter Piper pickle peppers thing? Before media, I think the word meant dumb people. Bazinga! Fuck that Sheldon Cooper cunt. Okay, I don't know. I don't absolutely hate the Big Bang Theory, but I kind of don't like it. Anyway, let's get back on topic here. I'm easily distracted, as y'all see. So, anyway, this is important. Here's General Kiribayashi. Today, I head for the post where my men wait. I am determined to serve and give my life for my country. Is it his country or Hirohito's country? No, I'm kidding. I believe I have organized everything at home. Gotta keep an eye on the copyright thing. Oh, good, we get... Oh, crap, I missed that. Ah, fuck. That happened to me the first time I watched the movie. That subtitle disappears so quick. But I am sorry I wasn't able to attend to the kitchen floor before I left. That's like such a pedestrian, mundane thing. Like, I think we could all relate to, like, something like that. I had all the intention, but I had to leave without having the time. But I'm still worried about it. So, I'll have to make sure that Taro takes care of it promptly. So make sure, okay, he's telling the wife. So make sure to have Taro take care of it promptly. Now, part of why this is important to me to read that out is because when I read The Rising Sun by John Toland, there are letters from this man. And, like, he's writing to his wife and he's basically saying stuff like, take care of your mother, you're the man of the house now, all of that stuff. He knew he was dead here. He knew this is where he was getting buried. And so he, in this movie, apparently, I don't know if this is from his real letters, but evidently this is a man who got his affairs in order before going to his final destination. His final posting. And then this is funny too. Damn this island, Americans can have it! Nothing grows here. The water sucks. It's gonna get good. It smells, it's hot, there are too many damn bugs, and there's no water. And we talked about that earlier in the stream, did we not? The island is part of Japan's sacred homeland, his friend says. He's like, who gives a shit? There's nothing sacred about this shithole, he says. Or he says of this island, but he means shithole. And then this motherfucker. Okay, I believe he's a captain. He's not gonna be happy when he hears this. Saigo! We could just give the island to the Americans! Oh, fuck. He's dead. He's dead. And then we can go home! And this guy's already like, attention, right? He's like, attention! Saigo! Oh shit, he's dead. What did you say, soldier? I said we could beat the Americans, then we can go home. I'm muting the sound every once in a while to trick the copyright. You there. Is that what he said? Now, interestingly, in Babylon 5, when they had the episode Grow Pose about the ground pounders, there was a scene where there was like a bar fight because somebody tried to like either rape or beat up Delenn. And one of the other Marines, the female who, dated Garibaldi, so to speak, she like stopped that attack from happening to Ambassador Delenn, and then there was a brawl, and that particular episode had I think like had like 2 or 3 major brawls in it, you know, like at least 2 brawls. They had like a bar fight and a brawl somewhere else in the station, and at the end of the fight, the sergeant or the drill sergeant, the guy in charge of that group, shows up, the colonel, whatever he was, I think he's a colonel, and he says, "Attend hut!" And all of the soldiers immediately line up on the wall, like everyone, whether they were fighting on one side of the fight or the other side of the fight, all of the Marines were lined up on the wall. And of course, he goes one by one, asking them, like, who started it? You know, while holding a stick in his hand. And nobody's ratting anybody out, despite, you know, the person, you know, exchanging blows with the other person, probably still think that this guy's an asshole. It's like they all understood as Marines that you don't rat your brothers out, you know, or you don't rat each other out. And so, you know, like, point is that when watching Letters from Iwo Jima, I'm under the impression that, hey, maybe that's what's going to happen here, right? Like, he's going to cover for his buddy, and then the general is going to be like, well, at least you're not a fucking rat bastard. We're going to speed through this movie. Why not even finish it? Yeah, I'm sorry I took up so much of your time tonight, guys. Yeah, that's true, too. And there's the real letters. Like, I'm reading a book right now that I will be reviewing in the future because it is good stuff right there. How did I play that much of the movie just now without getting copyright stricken? Is this a movie that isn't monitored by the monitors? 2 bras. Oh, 2 bras that are not installed. Yeah. How dare you, traitors, right? Exactly. And so, sorry about letting you know about. Now, I'm kidding, Slimming. I'm pulling your leg, buddy. You know, actually, it's a beautiful movie. I appreciate. Only question I have about that movie is, maybe we'll save it for a review, is the ending. Like, I know what happens. Oh crap! They detected copyrighted content. Okay, we're gonna go back to using DaVinci, and I will just keep the subtitles on another screen. How about that? Let's do that. Here, we're gonna do something different. Here, we're gonna do tools, minimal interface. So it's gonna be Control H. Then we're gonna do always on top. And I'm going to resize the DaVinci window like this so I can read the subtitles to you guys. So here we are. We got a little DaVinci window here. So just for lesson, for anybody who streams, I'm going to record a quick video here because this is actually really valuable information here. Oh crap, why is DaVinci not recording? Is that an error message? Not sufficient disk space. Right, hang on. How did I run out of disk space? Oh, wow. Gee whiz, I guess that would take up a lot of space, won't it? Okay, well, let's move this to the E drive. Okay, Babylon 5, Blu-ray, 100 gigs. Galaxy Express 3.9. Okay, I'm managing my files right now. It's great. Wow, that's amazing. 60 gigabytes. Okay, good. We're going to put this here. Downloads from the F drive. We're going to put that onto my network drive real quick, because apparently OBS wouldn't record videos just now. Like, look at, you can see right here, like, here, let me close the folder so I don't show any private data. But we can keep that folder open. But yeah, so there we go. That's what a gigabit network looks like right there. You see how blazingly fast that is? Does your network go that fast? Nah, I'm joking, but seriously, that's why. Hey, why isn't? Oh, there we go. Okay, good. It zooms in. But that's what gigabit speed looks like when you're doing local network data transfer. But anyway, I guess I'm not recording a video right now, but if I were to record a video or download a video, what I would say is that when you're playing copyrighted material on YouTube, one, you finish reading Slim Nim's chat. Slim Nim said, sorry about letting you know about Grave of the Fireflies. Great movie, Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli. But it is a Miyazaki film that I think everybody should know. And most don't because it's not fantasy. It is a beautiful movie. It's probably, you know, like realistic to some extent. Like, you know, whether it's based on a true story, I suspect that, you know, wartime Imperial Japan was wrought with stories like that. And maybe like if we can get a contingent of people who have seen the movie, I can do a review where we can maybe talk about it with each other, you know? Like, even if you don't join the stream, if anybody wants to join me on the stream to talk about this movie, I'm game, all right? So I'm taking submissions now. Let me know if you want to talk about that movie that Slim and him is mentioning here, Grave of the Fireflies. We could do a movie review. We could talk about it, you know? I think this would be a good group discussion. But if not, you know, if you've seen the movie, I would love for people who've seen the movie to tune in the chat because, you know, like, it's just like, I think it's like, it's pretty plainly obvious what's going on throughout the movie, but there's things that make you rethink life. And like, for example, the aunt. Is the aunt being reasonable or is she kind of being a bitch? But I think the lesson we learn is that maybe, damn, I don't want to ruin the movie. If you stream later, Slim, maybe I'll just write it in a message. But, you know, like when like somebody's being stubborn and they should just apologize to the person even though they know they don't have a reason to be sorry. I kind of felt like that maybe that could have saved a lot of stress because once they embarked on the path that they embarked on, Slim Nim, that perhaps, you know, opened up risks that the young man didn't take into account. And even though his thought process was logical and most of it is working out to a point, you know, stop stealing crops. Like, you know, clearly I don't think that would have happened if they had a proper water source, you know, staying with the aunt. And I think the mother would have preferred that, but I can understand why, you know, he did what he did because it was like the aunt was being a bit grumpy there, you know, and she says we're eating separately. And then he buys a rice cooker for himself and the, you know, sister so they can cook in the room. And then she's like, oh, he bought his own cooking thing just to spite us. Like, no, you fucking told him you're eating separately. Logically, he's going to get his own rice cooker so he could eat separately. Like, what the fuck? But still, I can understand, like, stubbornness or not. Sometimes it's pragmatic to just be apologetic, right? So there's that. We got Snowdub here? Oh, we got Snowdub here. Hey, what's up, Snowdub? Great. We're doing a movie review. Letters from Iwo Jima. Great movie here. We got the subtitles in the corner here, but we got DaVinci Resolve here eating up the remainder of my hard drive space over here. Apparently it creates a lot of temp files. But anyway, let's keep this show on the road here. So anyway, so you got the guys, they're digging the pit, and as we saw, the colonel comes by and he's like, were you just like saying unpatriotic shit? And he's like, no, not at all. So then the, you know, Admiral Kiribayashi lands in his Betty. I believe that's a Betty. You can see it's a newly camouflaged one. And interestingly, he even asks, he goes, hey, how long you been waiting for me? He's like, you know, like 3 hours. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. But because of what happened to Yamamoto, you know, Isiroko Yamamoto, the Admiral of the Combined Fleet of Japan, remember, he was killed in one of these planes. And there's another movie that covers that very nicely. And the gist of it is that a coded message was intercepted and a couple of P-38 Lightnings, you know, went on this daredevil mission, like, to whatever part of the New Guinea area, New Guinea, Solomon Islands, flew real low. Now, typically the Japanese are, oh, there is a horse in this. And, like, you know, normally the Zeros expected, the Zeeks expect the planes to come from above, but in this instance, they're coming from below. And that kind of like put a damper in their defense right there. But bottom line is that like these P-38 Lightnings managed to shoot down Isoroku Yamamoto. You know, even he was opposed to the battle attack on Pearl Harbor. But once he was committed, he was, you know, down to do it to the best of his ability. But that's why this guy had to wait 3 hours because there was, you know, like it was just wasn't safe to communicate encoded messages or not that this man is on the way. I'm Kiribayashi. Welcome, General. I am Admiral Osugi. Okay, so he's... The guy on the left is the General. I'm sorry. The guy on the left is the Admiral, or as Nerdporial Lifeform would say, Admiral. From Star Trek II, The Wrath of Farrakhan. It wouldn't be available next week until... Oh, okay, that's all right. Don't worry, Slim. We'll plan... I'll keep in touch about that idea. And if anyone else wants to pop into that, maybe I'll put out the word and see if anyone's interested in reviewing Grave of the Fireflies. It's like marriage. You're always wrong. And Snowdub, same thing. Snowdub says, hello, Lady Mist. Hey, Lady Mist. Yeah, dude, this movie's fire. As they say in the hood when you're buying weed from some guy and he's like, this shit's fire. Okay, but jokes aside, yeah, this movie is good. And I got to see Flags of Our Fathers, right? I'm going to either obtain it or buy it, or maybe both. Because honestly, if I like a movie enough, if I respect the craftsmanship of a movie, even if after I get a bootleg, I will buy that movie on a good Blu-ray. You know, like I want the best copy possible at that point. You know, but yeah, so this is the Japanese side. I believe Flags of Our Fathers is is the American Our side of that story. There's a Korean movie I got from World War II. It's about Koreans in World War II working under the Japanese called the Battle of Jingsari. But for whatever reason, my bootleg copy is a mess. Like it doesn't play properly. I may have to, I tried converting it. I might try another method of converting it, but it looks like I'm definitely buying that movie. And what's interesting about Battle of Jingsari for all of you guys who are listening is that apparently Scarlett Johansson plays a character in that movie. I think she plays a war photographer or some bullshit like that. No horse. Oh, you know what? Let's skip to the part of the movie with the horse in it. Why don't we? Call your Rumble channel No Horse No. But it like you stole it. Buy it like you stole it. How long have you been waiting for me? Oh, like 3 hours. And look at the guy's face, by the way. I don't know if this is good acting or if he just happens to look kind of tense. But it comes up. They wouldn't allow me to wire my rival after what happened to Yamamoto. This is my aide. He's got AIDS. What's the matter, Admiral? You don't look very well. It's nothing, sir. The water doesn't agree with me. And we've already been over this. We know how that goes, right? The water is practically non-existent in Iwo Jima. So, oh, this is a funny part. We're going to go back a little bit. Okay. Remember before the guy said some unpatriotic words? By the way, let me know if the sound is too loud. I'll lower the audio for the video if it's too loud. So he's beating the crap out of the two guys, right, from that scene. So clearly he did not appreciate the other guy covering for his buddy. This is not the U.S. Marines. This is not Babylon 5. Okay, so apparently this is not a thing, or at least not according to that colonel or captain. So he's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, they said some unpatriotic shit. He's like, well, do you have enough men to spare to beat the crap out of you men? And he's like, no, sir, we don't have enough men to spare. So he's like, well, you know, instead of doing that, how about you just revoke their lunch rations? He's like, a good captain uses his brain, and he moves along. He also then asks, like, about, you know, why are you guys digging trenches? He's like, oh, we're digging trenches because that's where the enemy will, you know, make their attack. He's like, oh, that's a waste of time. Tell the men to stop digging. So they continue digging, then he yells, stop digging. These guys get some, like, water or some, I don't know, garbage to go there. I guess that's water because they ain't getting food. But they got no appetite. They all got the shits. I think they got, like, varying levels of dysentery. Okay, so now he's reviewing the, you know, map. He's kind of discussing with the guys, like, hey, so you got, like, we got Navy support coming, right? Like, Navy support? Shit, we lost that at Saipan, buddy. It's like, no, we got nothing coming. I think maybe they still expect some reinforcements from the homeland and yada, yada, yada. You know how this shit goes. He's the guy with the horse, by the way, Snowdub. Just, you know, I know Snowdub doesn't like horses, or at least a particular horse. So, yeah, that's the horseman right there. So, this is your enemy. That man on the right is your enemy, right? Because he got the horse. Here, we'll keep the horse on screen for now. You know, I like Fast. I really wish I burned in the subtitles because, like, it's so much fun using the shuttle dial in the DaVinci Speed Editor. But we're going to just use VLC like Pop Culture Mechanic does. Because if Pop Culture Mechanic can use it, I can use it. Am I right? Am I right? This is a real war. You are aware of that, aren't you? See, that's the big issue. Concentrating your effort on the beach. Move the artillery to higher ground. Oh, that's interesting. Coordinate the army. Blah, blah. Fortifications are at Suribachi are the priority. We're going to skip a lot here because I know I wasted a lot of time going down rabbit holes here. I tell you, the subtitles really help at understanding the movie, don't they? Army commanders are usually assholes, he says. Well, he says they're trouble. He doesn't say they're assholes. Did the censorship get me yet? All right. We're going to go back to the Da Vinci cut so we can fast forward through it more speedily. Because that's fun. And he's kind of doing his mathematics. He's figuring shit out. This guy's doing some stuff here. We're gonna cut to some of the wild stuff here. You guys should really see the movie if you want to, see how this go. Oh, I'm going too fast. Going too fast, just like the lady down the block. He's like, you people suck at shooting. Well, at least one guy sucks at shooting. It's particularly this guy here, but he's not really like a pro. He was the guy. Oh, his backstory is hilarious. Okay, we're gonna skip to that shit. So you got the soldiers marching, and they kind of have some rules about patriotism. You got to hang your flag in the window and all this hippy dippy shit. You got these tanks. He's like, what the fuck are those tanks doing there? He's like, oh, we've been waiting for parts for like 4 months. So he's like, ah, shit. Then he notices a kid on the ground playing, and he goes, he orders an evacuation, which, by the way, smart move. Kiribayashi ordering that, that evacuation of civilians was a smart move, because at the Battle of Saipan, that was our first encounter with civilians, and it mostly worked out in a way, but it was pretty ugly, right? So in this case, smart move getting the civilians out. Plus, they could take the lumber from their houses and use it to build fortifications. So it works out. It's a win-win. Snowed up. Where's Snowed up? Good. We got a scene for you, buddy. We got your scene for you. We got something for you. Here, I'll put on. Where's the no horse symbol? Did we got a no horse symbol? I want to make sure we put that on screen if it's here. I want to respect Snowdub's customs. Oh, I thought we had a no smoking sign with a horse on it. I guess we don't. All right. Well, I can't put the no smoking sign with the horse on it. That's all right. Soon Ducks will play as DJ narrates what he sees as we don't. What? Shit. Ugh. We're gonna fix that. You know how I'm gonna fix that? We're gonna make it so that I can't possibly make that mistake again. How can I make it so that I can't possibly make that mistake again? Easy. Boom. Now, if I leave my camera on by accident, well, you get the idea. You clearly see it's a beach. There's a lot of sand. It's volcanic sand. Am I right? Right. And there's Japanese people on the beach. And, people in Afghanistan. What's that? What's the we didn't start the fire? Something in Afghanistan. Russians in Afghanistan. Something. We didn't start the fire. See? That's the whole movie right there, basically. Oh, I lost the box that lets me resize the box. Main monitor 2. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to get rid of the letterbox. Even though the movie's called Letters from Iwo Jima. I can't see the guy's head. There we go. You happy? I know I'm happy. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that, guys. I didn't mean to make that type of mistake. I mean, of course I want you guys to see the movie, but basically we're getting to the good part. Oh, you really can't see it. Okay, that is not supposed. Okay, there we go. That's how it's supposed. Okay, that was just a glitch, a temporary glitch. That's not related to why you couldn't see it before. But anyway. Soon Ducks will play as DJ with hat rates. I wouldn't mind watching Ronnie play Plastic Ducks. Oh my god, that's a good game. Oh, Plastic Ducks. Yes, that's a good game. Get struck instantly. Burning oil is something. That's okay. You always have a Slim there to help you figure it out. Aw. That's true too, yeah. I do have the game on Nintendo Switch. So let's get to the horse. Oh. There we go. We got a scene for Snowdub right here. This is Snowdub's second favorite scene in the movie, I'm sure. The first favorite scene is when the horse dies. Oh, did I spoil that? That's okay. That was one of the spoilers I intend to give you guys today. Is this really not too loud? You guys can hear this, but is it too loud? Let me know if that's too loud. I'll lower the volume if it is. But yes, that's his Olympic horse, Uranus. And everyone's being all nice and ingratiating themselves to the captain. Wait, does he say his name? I need to get his name. I'm really bad with the names here, so we're gonna get the name real quick. Oh, I played this on fast forward by accident. All right, there we go. Oh, this is cool. So while he's writing a letter, there's this guy, and he's like reading the letters, and he's saying, he's like laughing at his letter, but he's actually telling him, hey man, this will never pass the censorship, because he's basically saying that we work all day, they have us working all day. So he's kind of embarrassed. But because he worked for the censorship office, he knows what to scratch out of a letter to prevent it from being censored so that it actually reaches your family. So he does him a big favor. See? He crosses out part of the letter. And interestingly, some of the letters, like, I think I saw a letter from Kiribayashi, and it looked like something was crossed out. So I don't know if that's actually what happened, but I can't wait to read those letters from Kiribayashi to see if anything was crossed out in the same manner. It's like, there, you'll thank me for this later, Saigo. So I just thought it was a cute scene. I just want to share that with you guys real quick. So yeah, oh crap, what did I just press? Good thing we have this open in VLC so I get the time index right. 1417-ish, okay? 1417, yeah, I accidentally, there we go, we're already there. Okay, so anyway. Let's look at Uranus. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Kiribayashi spent time in the United States. Okay, I lost the scene, but there's a scene where Kiribayashi has a flashback to the United States. He spent time here. He made friends. Here it is. Taro. His son is named Taro. America is filled with cars. And I just want to share this, be like, this guy apparently, like, you know, he has some affinity, some respect for us. You know, like, he's a countryman. That's where his priorities lie. But he knows us. He knows our industrial prowess. He's seen our Ford Motor Factory. So he knows the deal. He knows they're on the losing side. These civilians need to be evacuated as soon as possible. So another thing is that he's having a flashback to the United States, but he's also remembering the civilians. Where's the horse? There we go. We have a celebrity here. If you listen, he says the word Olympic in English while speaking Japanese. So yeah, that's Baron. Oh, that's Baron. Yeah, that's the guy we spoke about at the beginning of the stream. This is Baron Nishi. He really does have the first name Baron, which is kind of funny for a Japanese guy at least. It's like he's got a fused Western and Japanese name, you know what I mean? And he just arrived from Tokyo with his prize stallion, and he just knocked over one of the captains, and these guys like, that guy's a dick anyway. But there are no women on the island to woo. Aww. Oh yeah, because the girl always loved the guy on the horse. So there's Taro. We're going to just go ahead. We're going to skip the dialogue going forward, I think. We're going to try to skip the dialogue. But yeah, those are the busted tanks they noticed, and you know, all that shit. Then the horse is here. So I'm sorry, I know this has been a long time coming, and I don't expect Snowdub to still be here. I know people might pop in to say hi, but this is a scene for Snowdub. That's funny. As his price down Uranus. Yeah, time, lots and lots of time. You literally, in theory, could you just let the game run while you're at work? Would that, like, if you had ducks already spawned, could you just let the game run while you're at work? Would that accomplish anything, Slim Name? Let me know why. Continue the movie review. Exactly. Yes, and that scene, getting through is better than nothing. Something getting through is better than nothing. What getting through? Oh, I'm sure I'll figure it out later. Here, we'll keep, this has more horses, so we're going to keep the horses on screen. Oh crap, it's recording. How can it be recording? It gave me an error message before. Because I ran out of space. Okay, well now we're recording. Okay. So as I was saying though, anytime you play copyrighted content on YouTube, for example, I'm sharing my right screen right now during a stream, and whether I'm using VLC Media Player or I use the DaVinci full screen preview so I can fast forward through a preview, what happens is if you monitor the YouTube studio here, in fact, we have it right here. It says, heads up, we've detected video in your stream belonging to someone else. So the key is always keep YouTube Studio opened. I usually put the chat into a pop-out window similar to what I did with Rumble. But if you refresh the page, you can have it both on your top right screen. Like you see on my top right screen, I got YouTube chat. If we do multi-monitor view, you can see how we got the YouTube chat in full screen up here so that I can highlight chat messages, just like we're doing here. But at the same time I do that, you can see on the over here area, wow, I gotta adjust the color on this. Look at that, I'm transparent. I did an experiment last week. But anyway, point is that simply by keeping the YouTube Studio window open like I have over here, like this line here where it says warning will tell me when it detects copywritten content. And then what you do is you go to Stream Health, and usually I leave it on this tab unless I want to monitor the analytics. And every time one of these messages come up, it usually gets logged down here. So it'll show like a backlog, like between like copyright detected and stream is healthy. So when you got a green dot here, you're good. When you have a warning here and nothing down here, you can just X this out. And so essentially the only time it'll show that warning is when next time it detects copywritten content, the message will come up over here. But it'll also come up over here as a logged item with a timestamp on it. And this is basically how I am able to play stuff and catch it before it causes any real issue. Except for the time I tried to do the presidential inauguration. I was at work, so I kind of just did it sloppily. I was doing it more for the clout and experimentation purposes. And the experiment confirmed that, yeah, they were assholes on that day. Anyway, let's keep going here. Hey, hey. Okay, let's wrap. We're gonna skip through. Oh, we got a picture, another picture for Snow Dub right over here. I think we're gonna take a screenshot of that one. Okay, I got a screenshot because I think we need to like maybe make that a YouTube community post, maybe send it as a tweet. You know, we're gonna send our love to Snow Dub Music and Entertainment in the form of this horse. And we're gonna say in the caption, maybe we'll say something like it's a picture of Uranus. Or we could do this. We could take a picture of like maybe take one of the puppets, put it next to the horse and say it's this and Uranus or something like that. I don't know, I'll have to work on that joke. Send DJ a horse super chat. I don't have a super chat, but you think I should post a PayPal link just so I could be like a grubby bastard? Yes, it would absolutely accomplish stuff. You just have to let the game run while you're at work. That is the only way I got through the first 3 levels of the goddamn game. Thank you, Slim Nim. Remember when I had to restart and rename all the ducks? I had to restart and wait for the ducks to respawn, which took hours and hours. Well, I guess it's a good game if you got other things to do. It is unhealthy when this appears. Because there are 2 ducks that if you let spawn in the first pool, we're going to end this by 2 a.m. by the way. But you'll get a corruption in the game that you can only fix if you find this stuff in the later. It gives you the code for the back room of the first level. But you'll get corruption in the game and can only fix it if you find the stuff in the later levels that have just been updated for the PlayStation 4. So there's a ridiculous amount of stuff to figure out in the game. What code goes to what, and if you really got to figure it out, you have to use the beep code for the first pool. Okay, I see. So let's keep rolling here. I just realized that time is limited. I'm already way behind schedule. So that's Uranus. We're actually going to start jogging through the movie real quick. We're going to go straight to a battle scene. So these guys are having a drink. They're talking. And hopefully I don't spoil a lot of the movie so that you guys can actually have a reason to watch it. How about that? Right? Am I right? Huh? But I care. I care about not ruining the movie for you. So he's talking about, he's like, now he's doing a little test. He's like, run like you're a Jap. I mean, run like you're an American. Run like you're a Yank. And so he's kind of just testing out, seeing like, what is it going to be like to defend the beach from a bunch of, Americans. He's trying to form a strategy. And then these guys like, is he going crazy? He's like, no, oh, that's cool. He's got a pistol from the U.S. Look at that. He's got an American pistol right there. It's got a beautiful, I don't know if that's plastic or ivory, but it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. And then this guy's marching around. He's got the poor guy who's sick with dysentery following him around everywhere on the volcanic sand. And he's like kind of doing strategy. Then it's raining and they're like, oh shit, we finally have fucking water. But seriously, like water's a problem. Like honestly, if they get any rain, they should just have more buckets. Like, because water is such a problem. Like, they should just put a plastic pool liner out and unroll that shit. You know what I mean? Like, they should have something to collect all of the rainwater, because there's really not a lot of rainwater. The sound's really not too loud when I play the sound. Look, they're more reinforcements. They got more poor bastards. Oh, is that the guy? Oh, God. I might be mixing up characters here. Either that, is this a flashback, or am I mixing up characters? Hell, I'll watch the movie again. Maybe we'll do it. You know what? We're going to do a fast recap, and then we'll maybe do another recap later. So, you know, they're eating their food. They're talking about how everything sucks here. Oh, shit. Am I not sharing the screen again? Oh, crap. I did it again. I'm sorry, guys. Well, hell, I won't get copyright struck if I do it, right? Oh, this is the cool scene. I love this scene. Okay, I'm going to just give you a couple of highlights here. So, that's at 34 minutes. This scene's hilarious. Okay. So, he's hanging out with his beautiful wife. He's reading or some shit, and he got a knock on the door. He's like, tell him to go away. We have nothing to sell. He's a baker, and one of the things he talks about while he's in the cave with his friend or his fellow soldier is that, like, there would be these assholes that show up, and they basically commandeer their fucking, like, sandwiches. They'd make bread and sandwiches. And they'd show up and be like, oh, by order of the military, acquisition law, we are going to take this. And then it got to the point where they had nothing but bread, and these asshole soldiers would steal the bread, too. Like, they was the type that they would use the rules to be dicks. Instead of using it for, like, essential reasons, like, and instead of paying for the freaking bread, it was like they would take advantage, basically. You know what I mean? Like, this is not something that was actually sanctioned, but the rules allowed for it, and nobody was clamping down on it. So they would kind of, like, put out of business by that. And so now they get a knock on the door, and this is fucking hilarious. All right, you guys ready for this? Okay, this is going to be good. Is the sound good? Is the sound good? The sound better be good. Gamer Rants. No, I asked you for that information, Slim. Now, I literally asked you to tell me, answer a question. You answered my question in spades. That's what I requested. Or you could be a guy who puts a pool on a roof and that's not designed for it and let it collect the whole crap ton of rainwater and... Ooh! Well, you know, what you would do is you'd have like a catch... Right, the gutters would be used, right? You'd have to... But you're right, you'd have to... Like, rooftops are good because they're a surface area. But you have to route that water to some kind of rain catchment system, I think they call it. But absolutely, that's a valid method, assuming the roof is clean. And you might put like a cheesecloth over the barrel to like help keep dirt and bugs out. So this is going to be great. You guys are going to love this. This is fucking hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious in a scary, sad way. So I really hope the sound works because like, if it doesn't... Congratulations! Your husband's going to war! And look at the smile on his bitch's face. Congratulations, your husband is going to war! And like, yeah, I know it's supposed to be a great honor, but you know how this shit goes. She already like looks fucking spooked. She's like, not this. So this poor bastard comes in the door. He looks sick too. Now, I got a question. The guy in the glasses, how did he get this job? Is he like one of these lucky bastards who's too blind to go to war? So they're like, okay, you clearly are blind without glasses. You're apparently blind with the glasses. So we're going to put you to work as the guy who goes around to houses congratulating people for being drafted. But anyway, let's roll with this here. And even here, like, you can see, like, the guy's putting the paper there. This lady looks like this lady's very interesting, too. Like, this lady's, character, like, she kind of got this solemn look on her face, kind of, like, almost like she's, I wish it wasn't getting pixelated. That's why I use the other app. She's keeping a positive face, but I'm analyzing her face because it almost looks like she got like a serious look on her face. And what the fuck is that shit? When I play it in a loop, I hear the paper rustling. Like, it's so in your face. And, of course, how do you respond to that, guys? You've just been told congratulations, you've been drafted to war. Like, obviously, it's not a congratulatory worthy thing, but it's Japan. Imperial Japan, for that matter. And then, like, you know, he's kind of sick from hearing this news, but he says the right words.
ありがとうございます。送りのため
I'm happy to
精
serve.
一杯ご奉公してまいります。
Thank you. I'm happy to serve my country. Now, it's like where I don't know. It doesn't really get any funnier, but you know, we'll just roll with it. God, why the fuck? This is why I used this. I wish I did burned in subtitles. Because if I burned in the subtitles, we could have been doing this in DaVinci right now, and we wouldn't have this macro blocking here.
文長級を
Prayers for your internal success at arms.
お祈り申し上げます。お願いします。
I want to see
お
her
祈り
face.
申し上げます。
I want to see.
長級を
No, I want to see her whole face.
文長級をお祈り申し上げます。
Is she being genuine or is she full of shit? I think she means it because in a moment you'll see why. But I thought originally she was just going through the motions and that this is all just a sick joke, you know? And it always says, the lady in the back kind of cute, or would you, you know, like, I mean, if they, would she be motivation to go to, okay, anyway, I digress. So, right around here, she's like, I beg of you, we have only each other. And then her response kind of shows you why she's probably,
そんな
this is not the time!
ご時世じゃないんです。
We gotta get that
じゃ
facial,
ないんです。
we gotta get that facial expression.
そんなご時世じゃないんです。私たちも
We have all sent our husbands and sons to war.
夫や息子を戦争に送っております。
That's what I get. We all have to
自分の
do
役目は果たさ
our
なければ
part.
なりません。もうあと
At least you have a little one to carry on your name.
シャルシー
Like, almost like she feels like she has, this lady has apparently dealt with profound loss. And she's conveying that while telling the lady to shut the fuck up. She's also conveying that profound loss. And he's like, basically, this guy's like, I'm not dead yet. You know, I'm not in the ground yet, hun. You know, so that's what happens there. So, great scene. Glad I could share that with you guys. Let's keep rolling here. We're almost halfway through. We're going to be skipping a lot. So let's go straight to the back. Oh, we got to play this briefly for Snowdub. Well, for anyone who likes horses or dislikes horses. Really, just to keep up the jig that we love trolling about the horse thing. But jokes aside, now briefly, that's Uranus, the horse in the background. He doesn't die yet, so we'll wait till the horse dies to bring him back, all right? Okay, they're looking at some maps. They're doing a military. Oh, we got a bombing raid. Oh, shit. Oh, did I go too fast? I went too fast. All right, bombing raid. A strafing run. Oh, is he gonna survive? Is he gonna survive? Oh. Oh, look at that blood. You can see the blood coming out of that man. Oh, the visual effects on it are pretty nice. Because, like, what happens is, like, what they do is they hide the CGI in the really short scenes, but it works. That's one of the ways that you do visual effects. You try to obfuscate things in, like, short time spans. It's one of the reasons why they probably keep doing movies at 24 frames per second. That looks like a Corsair. That looks like an F4U Corsair. F4U? F4U. No, F4U. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a corny joke. And you can see the drop. Looks like they're just dropping missiles or is that a missile? I'm sorry. Those fire rockets, but they can drop bombs. These are obviously they got guns. They got cannons on the wings. And is this really not too loud? I feel like it's too loud. So they're doing their anti-aircraft defensive work, but then it gets better. The fuel dump gets destroyed. And then the horse stable got hit. Oh, wow. Look at that. They got one. Let's take a look. They got one. They got one American plane. Not that they have any control over the sea. So what little boats they have, I'm pretty sure that pilot can still get rescued if he doesn't die. And our boy over there, whatever his name is, he's like kind of just keeping his head down, doing what he can. Let's watch that blow up in slow motion. Is that CGI or practical? What do you think? Watch what happens here. All right, this is for Snow Dub. This is for Snow Dub over here, okay? Because I know how much this would mean to him to see a moment like this. So, here goes. Uranus. I mean, Uranus. And that poor horse. Luckily, that's movie magic right there. How could this whole movie be practical effects, Limnim? I think I'm going to disagree on some scenes. I think what you mean is... Oh, you're talking about a different movie, Kabang? The entire movie was practical effects. Because I know that... I can tell you where the CGI definitely is in this movie. I'm not saying it's throughout the movie. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Need to look up the words that happened inside of Japan. The war. Oh yeah, well I knew about, like, you know, it was a fragmented nation, and what the bullets are. Woohoo! Even the bullets. But anyway, the entire movie is practical effects, even the bullets. But no, what I do know a little bit. I should look into it. Like I remember, for example, actually speaking of Snowdub, who visited us in the chat earlier. Just check out his channel, but. Snowdub was playing a game called Ghost of Tsushima, right? And Tsushima is like another island. It's like not even like the main part of Japan, ironically, you know? And it looked pretty Japanese to me. But no, they had, like, you know, a lot of separate, smaller, you know, areas, so to speak, right? You know, I don't know if you call it small areas of central authority, but essentially, you know, warlords, clans, you know, almost like when you have a bunch of small principalities in Prussia or Germany. Germany used to be a bunch of small principalities, centralized power, but on a smaller scale. And basically my point is, yeah, I understand that Japan had a lot of wars up until the point you had the Meiji Restoration. Whole of the rabbit hole. We're going to gloss over that right now. But you're right, Slim Nim. I should learn about that. And I think what I'm doing is as I go backwards in time, learning about Japan in World War II, I will be going further back in time, you know, because I already am beginning, like I know about the Russo-Japanese War, you know, Russia and the Japanese, for example, you know, and that was part of what got them to this point where they had the confidence to bite off a chunk of the world. So anyway, let's just skip through. Bottom line is the horse is dead, and I know that would give some satisfaction to Snowdub. But real quick, we need to briefly touch on this part, because anytime we see our forces, what, you know, any short scene with our forces, we have to look at. You can see they're now under bomber attack. And what are those? Are those LSTs? Or are those destroyers? Either way, you got a lot of ships. My grandfather served on an LST. Basically, it's a landing ship tank, right? They say these acronyms backwards, but it's a landing ship that can carry tanks. And these, I don't know if those are LSTs or LDSs or what, but you can see there's some planes over here. This is certainly CGI. You don't make an armada of any type of thing this big and use practical effects. Unless you maybe film one boat and duplicate it over and over again. I guess you could do that. And you can see they got Japanese radio. If we had time, I would go and show you what I read about the Japanese radio equipment. I did look up that shit. And they're basically being given the pep talk. Let's get to the good part. I mean, this whole movie's good. Okay, more letters. We're going to have to talk about the letters some other time. No time. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. We got to watch this scene. Oh, no. Okay, good. I want to play this scene real quick because it's so cool. We see some cool shit right here. You know, as a patriotic American, I want to see a 16-inch cannon unloading a 16-inch gun on a battleship, on a Iowa-class battleship. That's 155.52. Why am I using the keyboard? I can get there quicker this way. Oh wait, that's not 155.52, that's 55 minutes. We're gonna be skipping a lot of this movie, by the way. Okay, there's the reason I'm showing you this. That's CGI, but it's so beautifully done. So you got an Iowa-class battleship in the background doing a complete broadside, all of the cannons. You have 3 turrets of 3 barrels each. And on this Iowa-class battleship up close, it looks like you got 1, 2, and 3. So, in fact, actually, this one's further away. So it's 1, 2, and 3. So it's 3 complete broadsides from what I can figure. They're using all 3 barrels. Boom, boom, boom. And maybe they can fire them simultaneously, but they're essentially firing all 3 turrets, 9 barrels simultaneously. And those rounds are huge. You can also see some interesting design elements, like the armored belt below the water. You can see how the hull kind of is a little wider over here, apparently, from this camera angle. So I just wanted to share that. You also see some mortar rounds. I believe these are mortars. I don't know if they are, but they certainly fire like mortars. You also see a couple of guys over here, and in a moment you're going to see a couple of guys in another scene. And we're not going to do any more slow motion for tonight because, you know, we don't have time. But he's going to use a wooden stick to get that bottle. Oh, we gotta look at the artillery. I'm sorry. We have to look at all of the artillery every time. I played that scene in slow motion myself too. Oh, why I'm showing you this scene? Take a look. There's a guy over here. See? Look. A gun captain. Crap. I did it again. See, look, there's a gun captain right over here. Or some guy. He's like the guy in charge of the guns. He's like, he might be a spotter. But you can see he's like moving. He's totally there. Looks like he's talking to a squawker. Oh, and this is funny. Now, if anyone can tell me what this is, I looked it up and I think it's slightly inaccurate. I believe it is a type of 5-inch or 6-inch round or whatever. Might be getting my numbers wrong, but the problem with this round is I believe there's supposed to be a brass ring on the back of the round that is used in order to allow it to rifle, right? In order to give it some spin inside of the barrel of the gun. And for some reason, we don't really see that here. Like, you know, we don't see the brass part here, but I believe normally there would be a mangled brass bit. Now, it's supposed to blow up. He got lucky. It did not blow up. So let's keep going. He's like, oh, man. He's like thanking the Lord. He's like, shit, I guess God got my back. And they're not religious necessarily in Japan. That's a whole other topic, but you could have a Shinto and a Buddhist temple in the same town, and nobody's proselytizing anybody. It's just sort of like, do you? So anyway, yeah. Okay, this is actually the main reason I want to do the stream today. Was I just want to show you guys the beach landing, and you can see in this scene right here, at 1:57 or 57 minutes in. So we're just gonna go to 57 because this is important. Oh, we got to go back to normal speed. Okay, we're going to play this in slow motion because I just want to show you, like, what these guys were up against. Okay, this is no joke here. Like, I mean, imagine being on the receiving end of Uncle Sam's fury here. And our men are flooding the beaches here. And for some reason right now, maybe I'm overwhelming my poor computer right now. Or did I leave it in low speed mode by accident? No, I did not. Okay, so you got the guys marching there. For some reason, it doesn't want to cooperate with me right now. That's too bad. All right, we'll just play it at normal speed. I was really hoping to play it in slow motion, but my point is that you got the men making the beach run, and then you got these things here, and some of these vehicles, like over here, you got a lot of LVT-1 alligators, and an LVT-1 alligator is it looks like a tank made by a company in Florida, and one of the distinguishing features are that they have tank tracks, basically, and they can float in the water and essentially behave like a boat. They use the tank tracks, the caterpillar tracks, to propel the vehicle through the water. And then at Saipan, these were vital because they could go over the coral reefs. Coral reefs would rip a hole in the bottom of your boat. So before you could send a demolition team or UDT or frogmen to blow up the coral reef, you would use these. And these things, like, Japanese were like surprised the first time they saw it. Like, whoa, they got these fucking things that roll over the coral reef. and we are deploying the same vehicle here. The only thing I'd say is, first time I saw this, I thought they looked a bit too clean. But, you know, that's not like to say that they didn't look clean, just that I'd imagine that any alligator LVT-1 that was already utilized would probably look a bit messed up by this point in the war. And of course, you know, his fellow... Oh, there we go. It's another angle here. Yeah, so actually maybe like I just thought it looked clean. They actually look pretty... Oh, you know what? We're watching this on my right screen. On my left screen, this looks even clearer, and I could swear the LVT ones look a bit too clean. But from this angle, they look good. And one of the things that you'll all see about the LVT-1 alligator is that you have like a front armored compartment, and you have an aft compartment for the men. No worry, you're good, Slim. I'll just have to catch up with the chat as I wrap it up. The aft compartment is uncovered. It's like a flatbed truck, but with a fully, you know, like you're surrounded by armor, but the top is open. So if a mortar round lands on the top, there's nothing to protect you from above. But the idea is that the front driver compartment is covered in armored. They would drive onto the beach, drop off the passengers. If you have any, you know, casualties or injured that you could pick up, you load them into the vehicle and you bring them back to sea using the same vehicle. So that was the general theory of how you use the alligator. They certainly can be used inland and were used to bring people further inland, especially as the, you know, battle progressed and, you know, you had more land that was claimed by us. Now, in some stories, like they drive off the ramp from the boat into the water, and if you had an armored LVT-1, alligator as it's called, and it was too heavy and you didn't time it right, you had to like wait till the wave crest went up and kind of enter the water at the right time. And if you didn't time it right, or if you were just unlucky, that vehicle would sink like a rock, especially if it took on too much water. And oftentimes that would happen is as you enter the water, you can see like in the background here, there's a vehicle here and it looks like it's practically immersed in water. It's like got very little above the water line there. So some of the alligators, if they were more laden with gear or heavier armored, more heavily armored, they were already close to the water's surface. And if you get any lower than that, and you get more water than you can drain out, or however that works, you know, then you have a bigger problem on your hands, right? So yeah, you know, just something I just want to share. We can go into detail on that some other time, but you know. Oh. So he's like, sir, are you going to fire? He's like, no, wait for them. So the idea is this thing that the Americans, we noticed it when we took the beach, that nobody was firing. And that's because they waited until the beach was full of men to commence firing. And so they commenced firing. And so you got these, you know, poor soldiers here doing their thing. And they're going to get hit with all kinds of shit. You got a mortar squad over here doing their thing. You got more cannons unloading. These are all, some of the cannons weren't even found until after the war. Some of them were well hidden, you know. Now, there's another concern. They wanted to make sure that they didn't open fire until the last possible minute, because you don't want to reveal the location of your, you know, weaponry. So that's the gist of it there. So let's keep it rolling here. So we're going to skip a lot. We're going to skip a lot of the good stuff too, because at this point I am out of time and I apologize. Now, this is really important here. In this scene here, the Admiral, the Colonel, God darn it. That's why I got to keep switching to VLC media player. I hate doing it, but I can't read. I don't know Japanese that well. 3:44. What? Oh, 1 hour, 3 minutes and 44. Okay. So basically, the gun crew gets like shot up, and the guy's like, take the cannon. Well, so this happens. So he comes in to offer, you know, to see if they need help, and he's like missing an arm. He's bleeding. So he's like, the machine gun is blasted. He's like, take a spot. He's like, machine gun's blasted. He's like, use your rifle. So he goes, watch this. Honestly, that's a guy who should get fragged. That is a captain who should get shot. Like, it would have been fine if he shot that guy, frankly, sooner or later, but he didn't. Watch out, you imbecile. I can't rely on you. Go send a report to Colonel Adachi. Okay, that's Colonel Adachi. So now we know that's Colonel Adachi. So he sends a report to Colonel Adachi, and Colonel Adachi is on the radio, speaking to Admiral Kiribayashi. And Kiribayashi, he's explaining, like, look, man, I'd like to lead a last bonsai charge. so I could die with honor. And Kuribayashi's like, no, I need you to evacuate that area. Evacuate Suribachi, come north. Or, I forget, was it I think it's, yeah, Suribachi, right? Come north, reinforce the other position, so to speak. And he's like, but I want to die with honor. And he's like, look, that's an order. So right after getting that order, and the kid overhears it. Bushido. So he gives him the order. The kid overhears it. Then, while waiting there, he goes, the captain said, get another machine gun from you. So he's like, we don't have any more machine guns. So then he writes out an order, hands it to him, and basically it's an order for a bonsai charge. And this guy's reading it, and as he's reading it, he's like, oh, no, he said, we gotta go to we gotta evacuate and go north. He's like, that's a pussy-ass move, shut the fuck up, and follow this order. So finally, this is cool. This is a cool scene. This is a great scene right here. So he's like, okay, guys, you know the deal. They don't even do a bonsai charge, but this is so cool. Bonsai!
Bonsai! Bonsai!
Bonsai! Bonsai! My neighbor's gonna think I'm crazy if I scream bonsai like that, aren't they? So, this is interesting to me because from a technical standpoint, what they do with these grenades is fascinating. So he pulls the pin. Now you hit it on your head. So apparently this is a design where you do something like you gotta pull the pin and then compress some kind of component. I guess that gets the grenade going. I guess you don't just pull a pin, but you gotta actually do that. It's not spring loaded like our grenades, I suppose. So one by one, the men do their thing. And I didn't know that you can do that. I didn't know that you can like not get killed for standing near a guy doing that. I would have thought that the explosion would be plenty bad. But apparently, the body and the hand are able to absorb enough of that energy. I still think these people should be going deaf from being inside this cave. But I don't know. Maybe the hearing damage is not that bad. I'm kind of surprised by a lot of factors. But nonetheless, this was a thing that happened with some soldiers. And you can see how, like, nobody wants to do it. Well, some of them want to do it, but this guy don't want to do it. He's gonna do the right thing. And then you got this guy who was accused of being a spy or being like, a sense. He's sort of like this guy here is sort of like, he was sort of an elite, but he worked for like the rat squad, so to speak. So he's kind of not liked by a lot of soldiers. He's probably not an asshole, but right now he's kind of perceived as like this guy who will rat everyone out if they talk trash about the government. So that's one thing. And he's there ready to do the grenade, but he's kind of, you can see he's got reservations. Then the captain pulls out a sidearm and does it. And my question is like, I'm surprised the captain did that. Like, one, I want to know, was he doing a favor for our young man here? Or was he still expecting our young man to, kill himself? He's like, I would have thought the captain would be a hard-ass prick and be like, all right, you first. But anyway, this is just a movie, so whatever. The plot requires that he doesn't kill himself, right? So this guy, he's about to do it, but he's like, what do I do? So then he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? So he's like, buddy. He's like, Shimizu. That's his name, Shimizu. I heard the order myself. Kuribayashi said, evacuate, go north to reinforce the other position. And he's like, dude, come on, it's a waste of time. He's like, come on, show the fuck out, He's like, all right, cool. So they're on the same page here. And then over here, they hear like an explosion and they're beating the shit out of it. Oh, well, okay, that was cool. Wait. Did I get struck? Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. We're gonna speed this along here. Let me know when I'm back. Bonsai. I'm gonna keep saying bonsai until I'm back. Am I back yet? I'm gonna play some music in the background. Right, we're gonna do some music. Right here, we're gonna do some music. I'm gonna play a song. It's called "Am I Back Yet?" Am I back yet? Am I back yet? Am I back yet? Oh, I was trying to keep a beat. All right, so don't worry. We're going to wrap this up real soon. It's really late. Bottom line is you saw what happened there. So anyway, guy gets set aflame. So let's just skim through this real quick, guys. We could always do a recap later. So if we ever do later. But anyway, so they're crawling, they're doing their thing, right? We're going to really speed through this shit now. But we are going to reserve some time to look at anything that looks cool. Like I saw some boats on the ocean, so I thought that looked cool. We're really just gonna skip a lot of the movie at this point. You know, we really burning out time here. But you guys get the idea. So if this is a subject matter that interests you, great movie. Clearly, I haven't done enough justice for it. So I think you guys still have a lot of opportunity to, like, you know, really explore this movie from a fresh perspective. Because I guarantee you, you're missing a lot. I'm not gonna spoil a lot because I already did. But here's one interesting thing. So they had a guy outside of the foxhole near Kiribayashi. And they pulled this guy in. They rescued this guy. He's an American. I think his name is Sam. And the guy's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Well, what are you doing?"
Do you know Mary Pickford or Douglas Fairbanks?
So he's like, "Do you know Mary Pickford or there's something Fairbanks?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, they're famous." He's like, "Oh, I had dinner with them." He's like, "They're my friends." So he's friends with some famous American people. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta get that chat off the screen. But yeah, I appreciate it. I apologize for the inconvenience, guys. Hey, what's up, some person? Looks like someone did a bonsai copyright charge on DJ Ronnie G. On Donnie. Oh, Donnie. I'm Donnie now. Okay. Dim YouTube. Put that guy back on the thing screen. Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll be fine. That's why I keep an eye on that thing usually. That's why I should keep my tablet plugged in. Oh, wrong. Wait, what the hell did I just do? Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. We're not going to do the subtitles. Oh, wait, I lost it. So he has a conversation with Sam, and he's like, "No kidding, you're friends with them, blah, blah, blah." He ends up dying. Oh, maybe he dies. I don't know. I don't know what happens to him. I'm going to pretend I don't know. Oh, I did it wrong. Oh, this is cool. How does this guy, remember the guy Shimizu? How did he get into the war? So I'll tell you how. He's being told, "Oh, you got to be a hard ass for people, you know, like, don't be a pussy." So this guy's like, "Go knock on a door. Tell them they're not being patriotic." He's like, "Knock, knock." He's like, "You're not displaying your flag. You know, it's against the patriotism rule number 42. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My husband is away and, you know, I can't hang it on the thing myself." So he's like, well, how about this? I'll help you hang it. So he offers to help her and he puts the flag up, which I honestly don't know how a woman couldn't just do that herself. But okay, fine, whatever. He does the favor. She's like, "Arigato." Then the dog is barking. They got one of those cute little dogs there. She's like, "Shut the fuck up, dog." And the dog's not shutting up. You know, usually when you get all tense and angry and you tell a dog to shut up, what do? They make more noise. So then the guy's like, "Take the fucking dog out back and shoot it." So he's like, "Tell your kids to go inside. I'm taking the dog to the back." So he opens the fence. He drags the dog to the back. And then this is sad and depressing and hilarious. So the kids are about to cry. He's like, 1, 2, 3. What do you guys think is going to happen here? What's going to happen here? I'll tell you what's going to happen. You ready? Ready? You ready to see Fido go Fi? Fido? Actually, his name is Uzumaki. And he's starting to feel bad. Even though he was just told, "Don't be soft," he's going to be soft. Or is he? What is he going to do? How is he going to do it? He's got to shoot the dog, right? Am I right? Oh. And the guy's like, "Good job. Good job." Just like you would say to a dog, right? "Good job." He's like, "Put the dog inside, never let him outside, and keep him the fuck quiet." Well, he says, "Keep the dog quiet and keep him inside. Don't let the man see him." So he's like, "I did the deed." All right. I love what happens here. Let's do it again. Wait. That's so. Oh. You know where this is going, am I right? Uh-oh. Awkward. So, of course, the captain goes inside real quick. He shoots the dog dead. Like, inside the house this time. He don't even take the dog outside. Then he nags him, and then he beats the shit out of him. And that's how that guy ended up in Iwo Jima. So that's his backstory there, right? And if you watch the movie, you'll get more backstories like that. Oh, and remember the guy who visited America? Look, he's visiting America. If you want to know what they talked about, you got to watch the movie. But this is how he got that beautiful sidearm. Now, see, that's how he got the sidearm. He got it from some other guy, some major bigwig or some wealthy guy who happens to be in the military, in the Navy, I presume. And he even asked him, he go, actually, this is a cool scene.
No, I think she means against each other.
Oh.
How would you feel if America and Japan were to enter war?
How would you feel if America and Japan had to enter war?
I believe they would make splendid allies.
No, I think she means against each other.
The United States is the last country in the world Japan should fight.
The United States is the last country in the world that Japan should fight. But
if this were to happen, I would serve my duty to my country.
he's got his duty to his country.
You mean if Birdie was on the opposite side, you'd shoot him?
I'd have to follow my convictions.
I'd have to follow my convictions.
Do you mean you'd have to follow your convictions or your country's convictions?
Do you mean that you'd have... Ooh, you could hear the guy. He said, do you have to follow your own convictions or your country?
Are they not the same?
Spoken like a true soldier.
Spoken like a true soldier. So I thought it was a nice moment. You know what I mean? Oh, God. So he's going to check on Sam. And as Elle would say, D.E. dead, dead. I'm going to skim through this. Hey, does this get hit by the copyright if I play it like this? Oh, and Sam had a letter from his mom back in Oklahoma, and he read the letter to the Japanese in Japanese. And I'm so sorry we're skipping over a lot. This guy's trying to do a suicide mission. He's like literally trying to lay down on the ground playing dead, hoping that a tank will roll over him. Uh-oh. Oh, and this guy's gonna save the guy's life. He saved the guy's life 3 times. Once in the beginning when he's getting beaten up. Second time was when he was ordered to evacuate Mount Suribachi. And the 3rd time he's gonna save his life is gonna be like, I don't know, somewhere near the end. Oh, this is cool. So those guys run away. And they surrender. And... you know, their guns are taken away and they're allowed to surrender. You think it's all good, right? They even give them water. So this is like the hospitality. Like people who were dying for water, it's like they were actually given water. And all things are copacetic, right? And these are among the few English-speaking lines in the movie.
All right, moving out. What about the prisoners, sir?
What about the prisoners, sir?
You two, stay behind and keep watch.
He picked the wrong 2 guys. So it turns out one of those 2 guys is a dick and the other one's not a dick. So while one of them has a conscience, the other one doesn't. And I'm not going to tell you what happens there, but it doesn't really end well. And it reinforces those prejudices that the Japanese have about, you know, American soldiers being like escaped victims. Basically, they'd had rumors and beliefs. Like some of the letters indicate that the soldiers were under the impression that our soldiers were actually released from mental institutions and prisons. Like that we released our prisoners and psych patients in order to fight the war. So you can see how that goes, right? You can imagine how that might make people a little concerned. And then this guy's gonna do a nice little banzai charge, but instead he blows up with his grenade. And you know, you got a lot of good combat. And here's a radio room. And then these guys report, and it's like, oh yeah, we are the guys who survived Mount Suribachi. Reporting for duty. Well, I'm mixing up all my positions, to be honest, here. So when you do a fast movie review like I did, I'm sure I'm mixing up details. Another reason for you to watch the movie, you know? So here's the thing. I think at this point, I don't want to ruin the movie. It's almost over. I don't want you to know who, you know, survives, who didn't, right? So we're going to wrap it up right over here. But does anyone have any questions? Hopefully not too many questions because, you know, I take a long time. You know that. But in all seriousness, it's 2 a.m. I want to watch RS-218. Hell, I bet let's see who's streaming right now. I bet Aris is on. I bet Chaos is on. I bet my turtle is not on, but that's okay. Ooh, that is cute. You see this? Is my screen still being shared? Yeah, look at this. Oh, look at that, man. Oh, Okay, I'm sorry. In all seriousness, though, there's Aris. I'm so sorry I started my stream late. Let's raid Aris tonight, please. Please, somebody, anyone, please raid Aris because, like, I feel terrible that, like, I'm going to vote in the poll later, but he's got a poll up. Maybe check out the poll. Maybe vote on it based on the game you want to play, right? So, we're going to raid Aris tonight. Raid Aris 218, okay? Because I actually said I was going to try to end my stream early so that I can tune into him, and I started my stream an hour late. And then, obviously, it's still fucking 2:30 a.m. This is insanity. So, I apologize here, all right? You know, and I do want to make it up to my buddy here. So, I humbly ask you guys to consider, you know, rating Aris, or at least briefly say hi, you know, and maybe leave a like, you know, maybe tune in for like a minute and leave a like, you know. And if you like what you see, maybe tune in for longer. But you can see he's doing some emulation right now. He's using RetroArch, and he's going to be playing some game other than Final Fantasy VII, apparently. So that could be very interesting. Or maybe he is playing Final Fantasy. I don't know. But tune in and find out. And yeah, that's a lot of chat there. Oh, cool. My dad being a Marine, I totally get this. They're pulling into port, smacking the ice on the side of the ship. There's a group of Marines playing volleyball in the snow right next to the port just to show off. You got to understand how pirates did it. You are shooting the weak points of the ship or land. Think of that, or is all you see during the screen, on the screen, black powder, minor explosion go off, compared to what does those cannons actually do, especially the cannons on the battleship. Those 16-inch cannons have rounds that are about as tall as me, and they take 6 powder bags that are like drum-sized, like this big, like, and they have to load 6 of those bags of propellant with a little bit of black powder, but mostly propellant that is ignited by the black powder. It sort of serves as a primer, but that's a whole other topic. Very interesting. And all kinds of parts that didn't get right for the movie. That did, yeah, I can imagine. The greatest story I ever heard from my grandfather serving in the Navy in World War II. He's in this suit on the side of his ship off of Alaska, smacking the ice off the side of the ship with a hammer. Wow. In a suit, like a diving suit or some kind of, like, you know, snowsuit. I mean, just a couple of years ago, Prime Minister of Canada was assassinated, so still some stuff going on. You talking about Japan? You mean literally Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan, I believe the incumbent at the time, possibly. So, you know, like I say, night, Renee, and or Nick, sorry, just wrapping still. So didn't read. I'm sorry. I was saying goodnight to someone in Aris's channel, and I didn't really read the chat, so I might have said goodnight to 2 people when I meant to say goodnight, or just Nick. Yeah. So anyway, back on topic here. Wait, or both, or both. I better finish my.
Welcome, Ronnie. Welcome.
Okay, so. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, they are pulling the port, smacking the ice off the side of the ship. Okay, I get it. A group of Marines playing volleyball in the snow right next to the port just to show off. You got to understand how the pirates did it. I got you. So, let's keep going here. So, Mount Suribachi.
Yeah, it's interesting. While I was waiting
I'm going
for
to
the
design.
stream to start,
I'm
I was
playing
checking
sound.
if you were on.
I'm sorry. I'm playing too. I hope I wasn't talking over or being talked over too much. Where I could hear Aris, but I don't want you guys to hear both of us speaking. Give me a minute, maybe 2. Oh yeah, no worries, Slim Nim. So I'm sorry. Oh, did I disappear? How did I disappear? What screen was it just on? Oh, I see. Okay. So anyway, maybe someday YouTube will understand what fair use is. In fairness, a lot of people don't understand fair use. Like, they'll say, "Oh, I'm doing them a favor by playing the movie trailer." It's like, fair use. I read it before. I should read it again. It's something like 10% of the movie or 3 minutes, whichever one's shorter. And I'm making up numbers, but that's the gist of it. But like a lot of people, they act like they know fair use. They didn't even read it. But the general idea is that, yes, if you're critiquing it, you know, if you're, you know, not just playing the whole thing in its original form, if it's somewhat transformative, it is fair use. And it is true that oftentimes you'll see that people pick, whatever, rule, like, depending on, like, if someone's in vogue. Real quick, hello, RS218. We're about to raid you, or at least some of us are going to try to raid you. Slim Nim certainly raided you. But yeah, I know I said I would start my stream early tonight, and instead I started an hour late, and then, it's 2:30. So let's wrap this up, because in all seriousness, it's even late for me. Oh, I got activities to do. Got to finish working on something. But I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. Check in with me later about a movie review on one of my class extremes that I'm about to maybe do a little bit, not much. Okay. Lol, pigs can fly, some person. But yeah, so my point about fair use is, does this stupid thing, ? Oops. What did I miss? Did I miss something funny? Hold on, fellow constituents. He'll be right back. Did I get cut again? Sorry about that. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so am I here now? All right, so real quick, let's just wrap this up. I mean, I showered before 11 o'clock. I did shower before 11 o'clock. I did do that. What put me behind was eating dinner and maybe that second glass of red wine. Maybe that too, because, you got to digest it and you don't want to run. And then, oh, yeah, I when I got up here to stream, I couldn't find my microphone. Funny story, couldn't find my microphone. Anyway, so I plugged in the other microphone. Then I realized I didn't have the right USB cable for that. Didn't have a USB cable. So then I had to find this microphone, and then I did. And that's how I got here. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the movie review. If anyone has any questions about that, if anybody wants me to maybe speak in greater detail about a specific facet or aspect of that movie, please consider leaving me a comment, under this video, because then I'll see the comment. And if you leave a comment asking me to, like, speak on a specific aspect of the movie or something like that, I'll do it, especially if it's specifically about this movie, which I just saw. Clearly, I have the full footage of the movie. So if you leave a comment, say, Ron, can you speak about blah, blah, blah about the movie? Or I have a question about this part of the movie, or, hey, what are your thoughts about this aspect? And it's about this movie. I will absolutely do a video in response to a comment about this movie and this stream, under this stream. So with that being said, for now, I just want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. In particular, I want to thank RS218, who is literally streaming right now, and yet he still found a time to tune in. Can you believe that? I believe it, because he's a great fella. And then, in addition to that, of course, we got Lady Mist. We got the Peter Venkman fan site. Always good to see you. We got Awesome 1. We got Awesome 2. We got Slim Nim. Or that is, I said Awesome 2. We got Lady Mist. Yeah, that's right. We got 2 Lady Mists. We got Some Person. And many, many more. We had other people. We had Snowdub, for example. Snowdub is a cool cat. You guys know Snowdub. You don't need me to tell you twice. We had my turtles before, right? So my turtles, right? We mentioned Logan Denia Productions, LDP. We had Curtis YZ Reacts. Yes, that is letters from Iwo Jima. I don't know if I answered your question before, but that is correct. Give him Red Bull. But it was good to see Curtis YZ Reacts. He always cracks funny jokes. It's true. I couldn't remember Piper's name for like a whole minute. So it's like, Piper, fool. One time I called Piper Amber by accident. Amber does a religious stream. Piper does not do a religious stream, so it's kind of ironic that I mixed up her name for some reason. Turtle. Oh, yeah, we got that in Japanese. That was fun to translate. Thank you. Oh, that's my name in Japanese. Okay, I'm going to have to keep that. Thank you. Wait. Oh, crap, you distracted me. Look what you did to me. Man. Translate. Ronald. Okay, I know it's Ronald, but what the fuck does it mean in Japanese? How do you say it? Is it like Ronald? Okay, I'll Google that later. Okay, so what else we have here? Anyone I'm missing? Of course, we had Chaos 2 for you, so we should definitely mention him. Chaos for you 278. It was good to see him. Definitely worth a shout out. We had Lemon Pie over here. And that is everyone I can see in the chat log. So that's everyone I will say. And why do I do that? Why do I name everyone an imam when I end the stream? The reason I do that is because Kloppy did it. And I figure if Kloppy even Times did it, it must be the right thing to do. So, I mean, that guy sort of shows us how, I think, like, he did it well, streaming. And even though it can sometimes be a little cumbersome to name everyone, I try to do it. I don't guarantee that I'll do it in the future, but sometimes maybe I'll do it. Maybe sometimes I'll skip it. But, it reminds me of Klobby when I think about reading out everyone's names. So it's sort of a way of keeping that connection to a person, who is no longer with us. And So yeah, any opportunity to mention someone like that, I think is a good opportunity. So rest in peace, Klobby. Love that guy. I remember, he would do his Star Trek Saturday Night Star Trek in his New York accent, despite being in Louisiana. And at the end of the stream, like most of the time, he would read every name, and then if he didn't, he would even say, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I can't read every name tonight," and then he'd wrap up. But that's one of the reasons why, I try to see like how is it done, like who does things. So I watch people like Stone Loki or even like Gator. Snacks, he's another story. But Gator, he knows how to stream. But jokes aside, I watch people like in general. I go more particular like Snowed Up. He does it professionally. Makini draws. His graphics are on fleek. I would be envious, but I'm lazy. But jokes aside, I look at his graphics. I go, I don't want to look like I'm a copycat. But there's things I can learn from the way that Makini does his graphics, like in terms of the way he arranges the video and the chat. And just many of the people, they got this down to a science, or they got it down to a routine that works and looks good. And anyway, I could ramble on. Bottom line is, I do want to once again say goodnight to everyone, including Low Spec Linux Laptop. Thanks for the grubs, Lady Mist. And, he's going to change the stream. So, decide to stop by. Okay, yeah, so basically that's all right. I got you, Oris. I see that you're doing the routine over here now. So, don't worry. It just says be right back, folks. So, once again, raid Oris if you want, right? Raid Oris if you want. Or not. I mean, either way. And with that being said, I will finally, I'm so sorry. I will finally wrap this up. I apologize for taking so long to wrap it up. I apologize for being late. And holy shit, it's 3 o'clock a.m. And with that being said, once again, thanks. And when I find the stop button, we will end transmission. Once again, if you have any questions, comments, ideas,